Where are the low-value men?
The hijacker's passport was found blocks from the World Trade Center crash site. You can believe that. You can believe that. You can believe that.
Contracted COVID, but sends with a mixture of medicines, including the controversial horse dewormer that has poisoned hundreds of people nationwide. He's now recovered.
He was the best guy around.
What about the people he murdered?
What murder?
From the headlines to the whispers dark, low value mail, we'll get them all. Low value mail at 9 o'clock. Where truth and fiction take a walk.
Why don't you swear on the Bible that you walked on the moon? You're a coward and a liar and a thief.
Our stories are.
Welcome back, everybody, to an all-new episode of Low Value Mail on this Monday, January 5th, 2026. It's 2026, the year of our Lord. It's episode number 170. Welcome back to all the scrotes. I hope you had a lovely Christmas, a lovely New Year. Here we are. A lot has happened. A lot going on since our last episode a few weeks ago. Probably, had Trump not pulled off all this malarkey, would have been talking about the Somali fraud scandal, which now has Tim Walz no longer running for re-election. But even bigger than that was the U.S. military snatching Venezuelan dictator Nicolás Maduro in the middle of the night to stand trial right here in New York City. And as always, the phone lines will be open pretty soon, a little bit. We got Gerard answering the calls. He's a little sick right now, but he's here. No sick days for Gerard. And I'm sure some of you will have some opinions on all this. And of course, I want to hear them. Just adjust my audio here a little bit. And as always, you can support the show by just liking the stream. Leave a comment, sharing with a friend, or patreon.com/lowvaluemail, MAIL, $5 a month. Every episode, ad-free. You get access to a live chat thing that we got going on. It's a good time. We have a woman moderator. Normally that's not a selling point, and that is still not a selling point. But all right, let's get into this. And of course, I may say some things, I may miss some things, but the phone lines will be open, and I want to hear from you. I want to hear what you have to say, what you think. I'm probably even missing some stories. I don't even know. I feel like this is such a mega story that it makes all other stories inconsequential. I mean, Epstein? They were like, here's 1 million files. You're like, I don't even give a shit about that anymore. And is that maybe tied to all of this? I'm sure some of you might be able to answer that. So anyways, biggest story in the world, Venezuela. We're nearing 1 year. We're almost about 2 weeks out from the 1 year anniversary of Trump becoming president for a second time. What a year it has been, huh? What a year it has been. If last year felt like a lot was going on, I got a feeling the way this one's starting, this is going to be a lot more eventful. A lot more eventful. So this whole Venezuela thing, it's a lot to take in. And anybody who tells you they just know exactly what's going on right here, that's a fucking liar, okay? If anybody's like, I got all the answers here, instantly you're like, no, you don't. I would be highly skeptical of any person who pretends to have all the answers, because they don't, okay? Here's what we do know. First, and probably most important, the United States track record with regime change, not great. not great. They've had some success in the past, although their most recent attempts post 9/11 have been pretty much all bad. I guess we'll see how the current Syria one shakes out, even though they put the guy from ISIS in charge. I think so far so good. I don't really know. Obviously, this is a little different because this isn't Islamists in the Middle East, which I think is somewhat of a distinction, that these are, Latin Americans. It's a different breed of brown person. So that's something. The DEA, Drug Enforcement Agency? Association? Can't be association. Arrested Maduro, even though it was really a military operation. The DEA kind of was just there for show, likely for some legal reason, right? Now, also what we know, most Venezuelans, not all, but most seem to be in favor of this move. From the videos I've seen, a lot of fake videos going around, tons of videos of just like after a World Cup game, and they go, look how happy these people are. You go, I don't think that's now. But for the most part, definitely any Venezuelan not in Venezuela, very pumped for this move. It's hard to get the exact ratio of people in favor and against this who are in Venezuela. It's weird. Whenever shit like this happens, and I don't know the explanation here, maybe somebody knows. I have Snapchat. I don't ever use it. It's for children and girls, right? But I have Snapchat on my phone, and the only thing I really use it for is it has this map feature where you can go just see people's snaps in locations. It was good for during the Gaza stuff. You could go and see people's Snapchats from Gaza. When shit goes down, it is a useful thing to just be what are people just posting about right now in a certain location in the last 24 hours that they're making public. Oddly, you go to Venezuela, and I looked it up, and I'm there's no internet restriction. There's no nothing of that sort in Venezuela. And I looked it up, and people have Snapchat in Venezuela. But I go and look it up. There's 4 posts, and they're children just doing weird filters or whatever. There's nothing. You would think from a country that just had their president literally renditioned in the middle of the night, you would think maybe there'd be a few more posts. Absolute. It was 6 in the whole country, which I found odd because I'm well, how did those 6 get there? So it's unclear, but it does seem like most people are in favor of this move. Venezuela for sure. And we had a guy call in, a Venezuelan guy who lives in Florida, of course, called in maybe a month or 2 ago. Venezuela certainly is a narco-state to some capacity, but the notion that this was over drug shipments coming in the United States, complete nonsense. That is complete nonsense. Do not forget the pretext for all the tariffs that we discussed last year, national security, right? They all go, this is a national security thing. The reason they say national security is invoking national security seems to let the president just do whatever the hell he wants. And he is, right? All you have to do is this is national security. You don't need Congress's approval, which you normally do need for a war. I don't know why people are even calling this a war. It was 2.5 hours. So it's hardly a war. But even for something like that, I imagine you need congressional approval. They were basically we couldn't even, this was such a bang bang play. We couldn't even tell Congress, couldn't even let them know, couldn't fill them in. Now, some key points here that I think are important. Because everybody, is very honing in on different points here. But most countries in the world do not recognize Maduro as the rightful head of state of Venezuela. He lost an election in 2024. He just stayed in power, essentially ignored that. I didn't know you could do that, but you could just do that. Stayed in power. And in 2020, a New York grand jury indicted Maduro, which is why the DEA was there. Essentially, they just have to be yeah, we're just getting this guy. He's not a president. He's not a head of state. He's just some guy who's in Venezuela, and we're just getting him out. He broke a crime in America. We're just coming to grab him. I guess it's kind of similar to bin Laden going into Pakistan and we're just getting him. okay? And the DA arrested him. I don't know why the military was all there. So, because you've been hearing a lot of people, I'm sure, well, some of you may have, but I've been seeing a lot where people are like, oh, well, if they could do this, why can't any country now just go arrest Donald Trump or Benjamin Netanyahu? Why can't they do that? And the reason is that everybody in the rest of the world recognizes them as the lawful, presidents of their country. Also, Venezuela doesn't have nukes, which is maybe the biggest mistake. If you're a dictator, if there's any people watching the show who are dictators or plan on being a dictator at some point in the future, you need nukes for sure, right? That's why they're not going after North Korea, because they have nukes. Same with Russia. Obviously, Russia's much bigger, but the nuke component is important here. If Venezuela had nukes, I mean, probably they would never be allowed to have nukes, but if they had them, you ain't getting Maduro out of there, right? I did find this, and maybe someone has some idea on this, because I didn't really understand this, and I've seen other people say this as well. Part of the indictment was possession of machine guns, which I don't get. I'm like, if a guy in Venezuela owns a machine gun, that's a crime in America. It felt to me like, whenever you watch those kind of like those real life police shows, not like the procedurals, but like the real life ones, or like court shows, and they're like, they arrest you and they charge you with like 50 crimes, like there's anything they can get, anything they can conjure. They're like, we're throwing everything at you, and then you plead to 2 of them or something of the sort. But I thought you could own machine guns. I didn't know that owning machine guns in Venezuela is a crime in America. Maybe there's some nuance to it that I don't get. Now, the idea that this is a war for oil, on the surface, you go, that makes sense, until you actually start looking into it. And then it actually makes no sense. First off, the fact that Trump just at the gate said, yeah, the U.S. wants their oil. Did that strike any of you as odd? At all? Normally, in previous regime changes, the premise is about democracy. They go, no, we're bringing democracy. See, like, Iran, Iraq, Libya, the pretext was never explicitly the oil, even though that was what they wanted, obviously, but they didn't come out and say that, which I did find that odd, that he's just like, yeah, just, we want the oil. That's it. Now, is Trump just the most transparent politician ever? I doubt that. Venezuela does have the largest reserves of oil in the world, 300 billion barrels, allegedly. When Hugo Chavez came into power, they only had 80 billion. Then he magically found another 220 billion barrels of oil and allowed no external audits whatsoever. And, that was kind of around the time that oil was like $100 a barrel. So there's some probable benefits to just being like, yeah, we have 300 billion barrels of oil. Lucky us. The number's realistically probably closer to 100 billion. They don't have 300 billion barrels of oil. They don't. And the type of oil that Venezuela has, it's a type of crude oil that isn't easily extracted or refined. It's maybe some of the lowest grade oil on earth. It's similar to the Canadian tar sands oil, but I believe even lower grade than that. And on top of that, their infrastructure is completely run down and dilapidated after decades of neglect, which is what you get when socialists take over businesses. Man, I got to tell you, I've been so deep in oil Twitter. I've been so deep. You guys can start calling me Diddy Polishchuk over here, because I've been covered in oil. Covered. Several Canadian oil companies actually got hammered today. Seems like an overreaction to me, personally. This is not financial advice, but I'm actually not specifically, even with all this stuff, I'm not specifically worried about Canada. When this stuff all kind of started popping off on, I guess it would have been Friday night, Saturday night, one of them. A lot of people were like, oh, this is going to be so bad for Canada. I actually don't think it's going to be terrible for Canada. at least for the oil thing. This might be very bad for the whole Alberta separation debate referendum that is coming probably this year. For those of you that don't know, the province of Alberta will likely hold a vote on whether they should leave Canada. And this might, I don't know which way. Maybe this sways it in the positive direction. I don't know. But by many accounts, in order to get Venezuela producing the same amount of oil as Alberta, which is roughly 4 million barrels a day, you need an investment of somewhere between $700 billion and $1 trillion would be needed. And it would take years and years to do this. If they started like today, it'll take 5 years minimum to get to 4 million barrels a day. Could even be 10 years. It's hard to say, but it's not something that just happens overnight. Not to mention, you would need an entirely new government in place, as the previous governments nationalized all the oil companies and ripped off several U.S. companies. So the claim that at least some of that oil belongs to the U.S. isn't totally untrue, because they did make deals with the Venezuelans, I believe in like the, 70s, 60s or whatever, and they got ripped off. It was a bad deal, as Donald Trump would say. It was not a good deal. So it's not completely untrue. But another thing is oil right now, $58 a barrel, which for a lot of these companies below break even, excuse me, and definitely not high enough to warrant that kind of investment. I mean, oil was up today, which if you think all this oil was about to flood the market, oil would have gone down sharply, but it was actually up. So the smart money is not buying that narrative that this is just about oil, at least not right now. So what is likely happening then? And again, take this all with a grain of salt, because this is hardly my wheelhouse. I see a lot of people, giving their opinions on this online. You go, this is at best a guess, right? Like people are just like, I know exactly what's happening. I know to it. And you're like, you probably don't. But Trump has said this is about hemispheric defense, which is probably more plausible. Like there was literally a Chinese delegate was in Caracas the day before Maduro was arrested, right? And I don't know if you saw that clip. They were talking to this guy in Caracas and about America, and he's like, what do you think about the oil? And he's like, what do you think Russia and China were doing here? You think they're here for arepas recipes? They want the oil too, right? And, Russia, Iran have also worked with Venezuela. And look, maybe this is the neocon in me. I've never considered myself one. If someone's going to control Venezuela and it's not going to be Venezuela, it might as well be America. I mean, if Venezuela's like, we're not doing it and someone else is doing it, then it might as be America. And, you could make the case where, well, they should decide. It doesn't work that way. At least it's not. It's not working that way. Also, I know Trump said, he goes, the U.S. is going to run Venezuela, which a lot of people didn't like. But he also said the U.S. was going to take over the Gaza Strip. You remember that? Like 4 months ago or something? 6 months ago? Remember that whole thing where he's like, yeah, Netanyahu's beside him. He's like, yeah, we'll just take over the Gaza Strip. He just says stuff. He just likes to say stuff. Maybe it's a negotiating tactic. Maybe it's some subterfuge. I don't know if that's the right word, but you know what I mean? He just says shit. I don't think you can take everything he says as true. Maybe a bit of gamesmanship. He certainly does have designs on Greenland and Canada to fortify the hemisphere against China and Russia. And he really, he's laid off the Canada stuff for a while. And again, if the premise is, we're arresting this guy over drug trafficking, a lot of fentanyl, a lot of drugs are coming in from Canada. Probably not a great precedent, but he still does want Greenland. He said so, I believe, last night, that America needs to have Greenland, which is weird because they have an arrangement with Greenland. They can basically use it however they want, but that's not enough for him. He goes, no, we must have it. Again, this guy's a real estate guy. It's like you have a real estate guy playing Risk right now with the actual map of the world. So, but there are some interesting things going on here. Cuba Trump says is on the brink of collapse. Now, I didn't know this until the events of this past weekend, but Cuba gets a majority of the oil they need to power their entire country from Venezuela for free in exchange for providing doctors and security personnel, the same security that was unable to protect Maduro from getting snatched, and 32 of which were killed in the operation. So Cuba now has to go, and as far as I understand, the oil to Cuba it's over. It's completely done with Maduro out of there, and the U.S. kind of secretly running the show, even though they installed what's her Delcy Rodriguez or whatever the fuck her name is. Cuba now has to buy this oil on the open market to the tune of probably roughly $2 billion per year just to keep that shithole island going. And even if they had the cash with all the U.S. embargo stuff, it's not that easy. They don't have American dollars. They probably can't use American dollars. So Cuba could really be next and fast. That could happen quickly. And what that is, I don't know. They're certainly, their government is a proud people, and they do not want to just get checkmated by the United States, even though if they're not checkmated, they're in check right now by the United States. And again, similar to the Venezuelans, you can bet a majority of the population in Cuba would welcome this. They're so close to Miami. They yearn to just be in Miami. That's where they want to be. And again, I don't know if any of you ever been to Cuba. I have many times. It is a veritable shithole. It is. It looks like it was once a nice place prior to the embargo. Now it's not. People are not happy there. They seem, I guess, kind of happy, but they're not. It's hard to be happy when you're so poor and you're so close to America, right? It's just, and this isn't like Tijuana poor. This is way, way poorer than that, right? And they know the only thing that's getting in the way of them probably having a really high quality of life is just the stupid fucking leadership they have in that country. So Trump's really out here playing some 4D chess. Trump is also he's threatening everybody right now. He's threatening Colombia for producing and shipping cocaine into the country, although their president is democratically elected. So unlikely the U.S. can pull the same maneuver here. And then let's not forget Iran, who is now on day 9 of protests across the country, with most world leaders cheering on the people of Iran to overthrow that government. Everybody's pretty much every country's just yeah, let's do it. Nobody likes Iran. They're a bunch of assholes, the government there. Trump came out, said that if the Iranian regime killed any protesters, the U.S. will intervene. I believe they've killed close to 100, if I recall correctly. So U.S. is threatening Iran, really stretching themselves thin here. Really, really thin. But again, if I was another country, I'd be pretty worried right now because Trump isn't bluffing. Apparently, Trump took out Maduro because they were trying to reach some kind of deal, and Trump took out Maduro because he made some video of him dancing, and they were basically saw a video of Maduro dancing, and they go, this fucking guy, he thinks he's just going to dance and talk shit, tell us to come get him. All right, well, we're going to come get him. And apparently kind of in the last moments, he tried to make a deal and they're like, yeah, we're good. We're just going to come snatch your ass. Enjoy MDC Brooklyn. And I will say the operation, this military operation in Venezuela, which Americans, regardless of how you feel about this, you should be proud. Because this proved without a doubt that the U.S. military is far and away the most dominant military on earth. It's not even close. The Venezuelans has some $2 billion Russian defense system. It's nothing. It's literally every other country's most high-tech defense systems is literally nothing for America. They had, I think 2 guys got injured, and I think there was some damage, minor damage to a helicopter, but it was still able to fly. That was it. They were in and out 2.5 hours, surgical precision. I guess America's just back to being like the Team America World Police. America, fuck yeah. This country is not to be fucked with. And you know what? That might be the message they're trying to send here, is they're not to be fucked with. But Trump's even talking about going into Mexico now. He's on one. Like, I honestly think about it all the time. I go, how does this guy juggle so many plates at once? That must be like, to just have so many. I know he has tons of people around him, but to just have so many things going on at once, you need a real specific type of constitution to be able to do that. But whatever this, people discuss these, you see people talking about the rules-based world order or international law, whatever that meant. That's over. I think we can all agree. That's over. It's now about power and might. That is it. And whether or not this works out, that's definitely to be determined. It's unclear. Generally, a lot of times there's a lot of, second, third order effects that you could never predict. There could be, civil war in Venezuela. Everybody's fighting over power there. It's hard to say, right? And look, I know many of you are retarded libertarians. There's a lot of anti-war people, and they're against the idea of any of this. But it is, I will say, and I do think about this with the libertarian position a lot, because libertarians are very principled people, which is easy when you don't have to ever make any difficult decisions and you can just armchair quarterback absolutely everything, right? You don't have to do your whole thing is just like, let's not do anything. And then someone does something and you go, see, look at them fucked up. But you're like, sometimes you don't have that luxury to, to not do anything. I mean, it would be nice. It'd be like some cushy make work job where you show up for to be president. You go, yeah, I don't actually do anything. I'm a libertarian, so I don't make any decisions whatsoever because some of them could be wrong. So I just do nothing. And I'm sure some of you would prefer that the U.S. just waits until Russia or China controls Venezuela to make a move. But again, strategically, probably unwise, especially for a country so close to the United States. Like, why, I understand you could say, well, you should just wait. That's what people would say is wait. And then if they do that, then you can respond. But you're like, but then you're not coming at it from a position of strength. And obviously they want to come at it from a position of deterrence. And also 2027 is the year that China plans to invade Taiwan. I don't know why that's out there, but that is just understood that China has, I guess, will have the military capability built up in 2027, which is next year, to invade Taiwan. So there's a lot of moving pieces here. Probably could see some pretty major turbulence in the months and maybe years ahead. Now, that's it. That's phone lines are open. 1-888-949-2969. I'm not going to talk anymore. I was going to get to the Somali daycare stuff, but we could talk about it. You can call in if you guys want to talk about it. Obviously, Tim Walz is no longer running because he oversaw one of the greatest frauds in maybe American history. So I want to hear from you. Phone lines are open. 1-888-949-2969. What do you think about all of this? If you're an American, I want to hear it. If you're not an American, I don't want to hear it. No, we'll listen to the non-Americans. I mean, after all, I'm not American. Do you like what Trump's doing? Do you not like it? Is it actually the Jews? Definitely need to know if it's actually the Jews. All right, everybody, make sure to like and subscribe. Do me a favor, like and subscribe to the channel. We're going to do a new episode of The Bathhouse tomorrow night as well, God willing. And obviously, if you're an audio listener, I forgot this. Audio listeners, if you're listening on Spotify, follow my page on Spotify, please and thank you. Spotify has ensured me that will help. And again, if you want to support the show, patreon.com/low-value-mail, MAIL. Also, I got some road dates coming up in the next few months in Fort Worth, Texas, Chicago, Detroit, Pittsburgh, and I got more coming. You can get tickets at dannycomedy.com, or you can sign up for my mailing list, which I don't think I've ever used, but I might send you an email from time to time just to say Hello. Actually, I got some super chats to read, and then we'll take some calls. Let's see. Oh, no, I don't. Those were Mr. Walters signed up for Low Value Mail, and Aggressive Yeti sent 5 Low Value Mail subscriptions. Appreciate you all. All right, let's get to the phone lines. Caller number 1. Let's get those calls in. Let's hear from you. Caller number 1. Oh. He unmuted himself and then he remuted himself. Hello.
Hey, Danny, can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear. Who am I speaking with?
Peter.
What's up, man?
I missed the first 5 minutes or whatever you were talking about, but...
Venezuela.
Yeah. All I can speak to is Venezuela does have a lot of oil. And
They do. They do. Do you know this from personal experience?
No, but I can tell you an interesting bit of history.
Sure.
It was kind of the first oil really discovered in the Americas, at least by the white man. When,
nice.
I don't know, I think it was Columbus. When Columbus came over, they used the oil that was coming out of the ground in like Trinidad to caulk their boats and to re-waterproof their boats.
Interesting.
And it's part of the same big formation down in Venezuela. And that's it. That's all I had to share.
Okay. Yeah. I mean,
Huge like oil then.
Yeah, I mean, I was because I have been like reading all these like oil. I somehow got the way the new Insta or Twitter algorithm works is if you click on like one thing on a topic, they show you kind of everything from that topic and you're For You, and or at least it feels that way. And so I was reading all this oil stuff, and it does seem like they grossly overstate how much oil they have.
Well, so it's interesting. Venezuela mostly produces really heavy crude, and it used to be a critical part of like the whole Gulf Coast refining industry was getting Venezuelan heavy crude to balance with our light stuff.
Yeah.
They optimized a lot of their processes for it. But I guess Venezuela started nationalizing. I mean, all the South American countries nationalized our oil assets at some point, but Venezuela, I usually think about starting with Chavez. I guess it happened before, but
yeah, it happened before, but he was the one who fully, fully kind of expropriated. Yeah, exactly.
He took Exxon and
Chevron,
Phillips and
Conoco, and
so Chevron's got a carve out. Chevron still is the only American operator still in Venezuela, or at least they were. I think they.
Yeah, I think because I saw people celebrating in Venezuela, and they were like at a Chevron gas station, which seemed kind of funny, actually.
I mean, it makes me wonder if their old CEO, they're going to be on to somebody new. I'd be curious if, I'm pretty sure it's the same guy. I don't know if you heard the story about when Chevron left California last year. I'm from California.
Oh, okay.
When Chevron left California last year, the CEO was a guy named Mike Wirth. He sent a text to Gavin Newsom like 6 hours ahead of the press conference saying like, hey, just heads up, we're going to, announce we're moving the headquarters. And Newsom like put them on red or said something dismissive.
Really?
Back to like
basically like you fucked up this whole state. We're leaving.
Yeah. And Newsom, I think, said thanks, but no thanks. Or he said some gay bullshit. You can look it up.
Right.
Newsom to Chevron. But the point I was trying to get to was just that I don't know what, if any, plan, I'm guessing it's thin, Trump has for the Venezuelan oil industry, but Chevron's the only existing U.S. oil major operating there right now.
Yeah, I mean, again, I don't think, like, I really, like, what regime change is ever where they're like, yeah, this is about oil? It's always...
I don't think they planned past the first press conference, honestly.
I don't know about that. I think people don't give them enough credit. Like, they built an entire replica of Maduro's compound in Kentucky on a military base so that they could practice raiding it. Like, this wasn't something they just did on a whim. Like they've been planning this for months and months and months.
That was the military, but like I would balance that with, did you see Trump's photo of him and Hegseth in their like headquarters at Mar-a-Lago? It was supposed to be like the Obama.
Yeah, with like the black
capturing
curtains.
of Osama. Yeah, dude, that shit looks like a friggin' land party from 2008.
I know, it's funny too.
Why
They
would
had
you not do this in the Situation Room?
Well, because they're at Mar-a-Lago. That's the thing. He was fucking on vacation. He lives in Florida. So they have to do these like makeshift.
It looks so tacky.
I know, and he had on his screen like they're just on Twitter. They have a TV and they're just on Twitter, scrolling Twitter to see what people are saying about it.
I didn't know that part.
Yeah, it was wild. All right, man. Thanks for calling in. Appreciate it.
Same. Bye.
Later. All right, let's go back to the phones. Call in, everybody. 1-888-949-2969. I want to hear from you. And we are going to, and again, please unmute yourself promptly. Hello.
Yo, hello.
What's happening? You're on Low Value Mail.
Yo, so I play soccer with Venezuelans, and you know, with their reaction, it's basically like, okay, good, whatever. You know, like we're here, they got to deal with what's going on here in their lives. Whatever happened back home in their eyes, it's like they just basically not turn their backs on it, but you know, like good riddance. You know,
right?
Time for a change. Try something else.
But they must have some family. They don't have any family there.
Yeah, but if you're not part of the government, if you're not in the in crowd, I guess, or connected to government and all of that, like you're basically left out. And I mean, it's just like it sucks, but that's just what a lot of people don't really see. I mean, now it's coming out, people are seeing it.
But so they're not hopeful, like if there's an actual new regime, like a democratically elected regime, these like your guys you play soccer with, they're not hopeful that anything will change. Is that what you're saying?
Generally positive, kind of like the videos of like the Venezuelans, you know, chanting and, you know, cheering on that, you know, that homeboy left or they took Maduro out.
Yeah.
So I'll say for the most part, relieved is like the sentiment I get, you know, but
yeah, see, I mean, if you're here, anybody who was like forced to leave Venezuela because they destroyed the country, I'm sure those people would be very happy to see the regime fall. I mean, I can't imagine anybody who was forcibly had to leave the country who was like, I don't like this.
Yeah, with the whole dealings of the cartel or trafficking and all that, like it'll be regulated, so to speak. I mean, that's like stuff that goes on behind the scenes in the dark, so to speak. So, you know, we only see it from the public side, but I'm sure all that will get sorted out with the new cabinet, the new administration. And one could only hope is like, say, you talk to El Salvadorans and low key, they like what Bukele is doing in El Salvador, but they can't really openly say it because, you know, the white liberal saviors say, oh, but you must be a fascist Trump supporter because he likes Bukele.
Yeah, I know.
You know.
Yeah. They're probably like, it's great that our murder rate went from the highest in the world to basically the lowest, but I understand that.
And it's and like to kind of wrap it up, like if I have to, like I'm indifferent to it, like first and foremost, like when it's America first, it's like generally speaking, the Americas, like why wouldn't I want the Americas as a whole to prosper together? That's one thing. Now, who would I want in charge? Would it be, you know, Muslims or Jews or Zionists? Then that's a greater question we have to ask ourselves honestly. Like, well, who's given us this country to like, or help build this country to where it's at today, including technologies and whatnot? Then I have to be honest with myself and say, hey, well, maybe there's a justifiable good that goes on with this bad. That, you know, if all they're asking for is more piece of land in the Middle East, then where's the compromise? That we have to be honest with ourselves, you know.
In the Middle East, how do we get to the Middle East?
Oh no, I'm sorry, I apologize. I jumped ahead. like if we put in Juan Guaido, that guy that they tried to put in that was like CIA backed, like say if he had like connections with, I mean, yeah, I don't want to.
I mean, they did that with Noriega, and that didn't work out.
Yeah. So, you know, a puppet leader, let's just say, that's controlled by who knows who, but that's aligned with the U.S. and in effect also Israel, right? You know, because on the world scale, we're trying to prevent, you know, what people are saying is to prevent Venezuelan oil going to China, which is connected to Russia.
And Iran.
And the
I guess the oil wouldn't go to Iran, but they just don't want them to have any influence in the Western Hemisphere, which is somewhat understandable. Obviously there's people who are mad because they're like, who the fuck put you in charge of the Western Hemisphere? But they're like, we're the biggest country in the world. We're by default in charge of the Western Hemisphere, whether people like it or not.
Yeah, to an extent, that's true. What I was trying to say is the Zionist-occupied government in Venezuela, if that's ultimately, like, say, in Mexico, for example, where something like that can happen. Now, obviously, we don't know if there's any actual real ties, so it's not.
I mean, the odd thing is Scheinbaum in Mexico, she's not a Zionist. She's actually pro-Palestine. She's pro-Palestine. She's not as, like, she's Jewish, but she's like one of those, like, super liberal anti-Zionist types. Like, she's not a Zionist.
Yeah. I know it's easy. I try to catch myself and be honest with, like, not to jump to conclusions. It's like, oh, you know, this person has a precious middle name. Or automatically it's like.
I mean, she is Jewish.
You know,
she is Jewish, but she's not, as far as I understand, she's like pretty outspoken against Israel. She's not a big fan. She's not a big fan of the country. And I know I saw a lot of people being like, yeah, this is the reason why they got them out was because Maduro was against Israel. But you're like, that's half the governments in the world. Like, by that logic, they'd be getting everybody out.
Yeah, going back to BRICS nations and how, you know, with the SWIFT system and central banking, like North Korea, Venezuela, and Iran, I believe, are the last three standing, or were at least with Venezuela. Hopefully that opens up their government or their country to.
Those are the last three countries without a central bank?
As far as my understanding, as far as like not being open, let's say, with the SWIFT system and central bank, you know, being connected with the rest of the world. But yeah,
interesting.
It's interesting, you know, seeing the power plays go on. But going back to my initial statement of, like, you know, playing soccer with, I play soccer with Iranians also, Syrians, and like all kinds of different teams here in Southern California.
What are the Iranians saying?
Well, one of them told me the theory is that the U.S. wanted to consume the rest of the world's oil before it starts consuming its own natural resources here in the U.S. That's why. I mean, they're trying to like.
Yeah, I mean, there's like a glut. Like, there's a reason why the price of oil is so low right now, because there's so much fucking oil. Like, there's a glut of oil right now. That's why, like, the oil thing didn't really make any sense. Like, if oil was $200 a barrel or something, you go, okay, that makes a little more sense. But in the 50s, you're like that kind of tells you everything you need to know, I think, which is that
there's a theory called peak oil. Peak oil says that you're familiar? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, peak oil is just, for people who don't know, essentially is just there's a finite amount of oil, and there will be a day when they just go, we've run out of oil on Earth. But I don't think we're.
And some believe that. Well, I guess science would say that the oil that we use is abiotic, meaning that it's constantly regenerating.
I lost you.
Well, they'll produce it as fast as we could consume it. You know, that's what the scientists, you know, like 10 levels down to, you know, eat that, you know, we don't know. We're not privy to that information publicly.
Right. I don't know about. I don't think America wants Venezuela's oil. I think that was just kind of a little red herring or something to send you on a wild goose chase about oil. Because again, it's like their oil. It's not like the oil that they had in the Middle East. That shit is right below the surface. It's cheap to get out. It requires the least amount of processing. Like, that makes sense that they would want that oil. But this oil, you go, this is a fucking pain in the ass. Like, it's not some gold mine. I don't even know if you could,
Yeah.
if it's like the price of oil is high enough to even break even on something like that, especially when the hundreds of billions of dollars you got to put in there to even get it out of the ground. That one doesn't make a ton of sense to me. All right, I gotta let you go. Thanks for calling in though. Have a good one. All right, let's go. Oh, I think I know who this is. Hello.
Hey, how was the New Year so far?
Pretty good. Pretty good. Can't complain. What about you? You'll actually like this, Slav. Listen to this. I went with the wife to Scottsdale over New Year's, and we had to leave early because they wouldn't stop playing Christmas music.
Well, wait, what? Traditional Christmas music?
No,
or Operation Shylock.
No,
Operation
there was no.
Shylock
It was
Christmas
like
music.
it was they kept playing the Home Alone song. Is that the Home Alone song? It was this. We were staying at this hotel, and they had this fucking Christmas fair going on that they do from like mid-November to probably wraps up today or tomorrow. And every day from 4 to 11 p.m., they would fucking blast Christmas music on a loop, too. It wasn't even different Christmas music. It was like a 20-minute loop. Every 20 minutes, it would just replay. And there was, in any room you were staying at, it was just like so loud. Even with the doors, the windows closed, you could not avoid it. And we're like, this is fucking insane. And we like called them and we're like, can we move to a room that doesn't have this? And the guy was like, I'm so sorry. Like, tons of people complain about this, but they just do this. And he's like,
well, I mean, you know who's responsible for the commercialization of, Christmas and all. So,
is it the Jews?
Yeah, I mean,
we wrote all the best songs. We wrote all the best Christmas songs. That's for sure.
I mean, the real Christmas is in 2 days. So,
oh, is that the one you're celebrating?
It's the one. Yeah, it's not even a celebration. It's more of a recognition. So,
interesting.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean,
happy early Christmas.
For Christmas music, I'm more of like a Gregorian chant kind of guy.
Oh, I like a good Gregorian chant.
I keep it real old school.
Yeah, I like a good Gregorian chant. So what are your thoughts on this whole Venezuela stuff? Obviously, it's the Jews, but if you have some sort of nuance.
Were you awake for it?
I was awake for it. It was, I was about to go to bed, and then I was like scrolling on Twitter, and I'm just like, what the fuck is going on here? And then I stayed up.
Yeah,
I didn't stay up until they got Maduro. I didn't realize that it was just going to be like in and out, and they were going to have him by 4:30. But
yeah, I caught it live. It was, I mean, what is it? My whole feed leading up to it is you've heard like that slow reverb remix of the Macarena song.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, oh yeah, this is definitely fit for and they do it to like all the Gulf War edits. And I'm like, hell yeah, bro, this shit is actually gonna happen.
Yeah.
I mean, so what is it? Yeah, Maduro said he was right about the Jew and their influence over America and the West.
Yeah.
But funny enough, do you know anything about his family history?
Yeah, you know what? Funny enough, I gave him a little early life check today.
And his grandfather was a rabbi.
He was Jewish. Yeah, he converted to Catholicism. I think his father converted to Catholicism.
Yeah, sneaky.
More like Maduro.
Yeah, they're all sneaky convertos.
So then so then if he's Jewish, but then the Jews got him, what exactly is the logic there? Just that he was Jewish, but then he turned his back on the Jews, so then they're like, we got to grab you now?
Well, I mean, why do you think the Inquisition had to happen in Spain, Danny?
I don't know. You tell me.
Well, I mean, what is it?
Well, I know it was because the Jews wouldn't convert, but he did convert.
No. The Inquisition happened because Jews would convert, yet they were still in secret in basements and cellars in the shadow of the night, still doing their, rituals.
But so you're saying that he's been lying about being Catholic and he's actually been a Jew this whole time?
Something like that, yeah.
And then why did the Jews get him then? So he was a good Jew? He was like one of the good ones and then they still snagged him?
I mean, it's all an incestuous orgy, especially with like Shine Bomb and everything.
Yeah.
You know, all these Jews for Palestine talking about, oh, they're doing this to the Palestinian people, but as soon as you're like, oh yeah, just like the Holocaust, they'll switch right up and be like, don't you dare compare. And it's like,
What do you mean?
okay,
Tons
well,
of them. What are you talking about? Literally, I hear that's like the number one thing that the Jews for Palestine say is that they're like, they did the Holocaust and now we're doing it to them.
Yeah, no, but the thing is, when you bring up the actual facts of the Holocaust, then they drop everything.
Oh, like when you want to get all down to the real nitty gritty with them, they're like, yeah, we're not.
Well, I mean, they make researching and looking for mass graves illegal, all that kind of stuff. And then did you also see how there was that guy on Fox News who said what happened in that capturing Maduro was good for the people of. He slipped up and said Israel.
I did see that. Yeah. He was like, yeah. I did see that. I also saw that Israeli tech guy. I don't know if you saw that he was like on CNBC. Shlomo Kramer.
He's asking for anti-Semitism with that.
That guy was, he's like, we need to get rid of the First Amendment, or like, we need to put restrictions on the First Amendment. I'm like, dude, what are you doing?
Dude, I'm enjoying that the Jew is
that's like my conspiracy is like, that must be some kind of psyop, because you're like, is that guy really like, there's got to be more to it on the than just the surface level where he's like, yeah, we just need to get rid of the First Amendment anyways, about my tech company.
Yeah, it's like the whole thing of stop saying we're controlling or else we'll be forced to be controlling.
He wasn't even an American Jew, he's Israeli. That was the crazy part too. I was like, he has this
fucking accent,
thick Israeli accent, and he's just like, yeah, we need limits on the First Amendment. And you're like, who the fuck are you?
It's like a fucking Frenchman that was stuck in the desert too long. All that fucking sand and then with Iran.
So do you like this Venezuela stuff or not? Because you must be like a big America First guy. But I bet you like some of that shock and awe. I bet you're primal, like just deep down, you like the shock and
awe. I like the Monroe Doctrine.
Do you like the Monroe Doctrine?
I like the Monroe Doctrine. I'm an OG kind of guy. I'm a paleo principle kind of guy.
Okay.
But I don't like the Jew riding the coattails of this shit. And if we actually enforce the Monroe Doctrine, Israel would have zero influence on our nation. So
but they're not in the hemisphere though.
Yeah, that's the point. We're not supposed to have other hemispheres. But when it was created, we didn't want European influence. Now, if you do a genetic test on everyone who lives in Israel, that's pretty much Europe. But either way,
I mean, that's not true. It's on the other side. It's a fraction of the people who live there. It's probably like a third of the people.
It's all of them. It's all of them, bro.
It's not.
They're all Europeans.
They are not. All Europeans.
We'll have to take every Jew, pin them to the ground, and take all of their DNA, blood, and saliva.
I mean, you can just look at them. You can see a person and be like, that's not a European. Like a dude who's fucking more tan than I ever get as his baseline is not a European.
They're chameleons.
You just figure they just manage. They just look Arab, but they're
bro. I mean, come on. Look at Hamas leadership footage. They all speak Arab with an Israeli accent.
You're saying Hamas are Jews too?
Hamas was created by the Jew.
I know that they've funded them in some capacities and allowed money to get to them. But are you saying that they're actually Jewish?
A lot. Mossad brags about how they're able to blend in and insert their own operatives.
But you're saying like the high level members of Hamas are Israeli?
Amongst them are, yeah.
Well, I'm sure they have some spies, similar to how, like the way they got Maduro apparently is he some people are speculating that it was that Delcy chick was working with the CIA. She gave away all his locations and everything. They had every fucking piece of information, literally like his pets, what he ate, what he wore, like everything.
I think he knew he was going to be captured anyways. He was with his wife. I mean, Like, he wasn't moving. I mean,
again, maybe
like,
maybe he thought they were bluff. I mean, Trump is the last guy that you want to call his bluff. Probably with you
Trump
again.
bluffs when it comes to domestic policy. When it comes to domestic policy, he bluffs a lot, and that's kind of annoying.
Yeah, I mean, like with Biden was the one who originally put the $25 million bounty on his head. So he probably was like, yeah, it'll be like Biden. Like, they're not going to do shit.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was an auto pen. It's all an auto pen with Biden.
Yeah, but whatever. Even still, he probably was just like, yeah, they're not going to do anything to me. Now he's fucking
plus,
sitting in MDC Brooklyn.
With the Jew being ever, did you see Mike Pompeo's tweet about his solidarity with the protesters? And in that tweet, he said, "And all the Mossad who walk amongst you."
Oh yeah.
I mean, dude, they're going mask off. So, like, at this point, it's like, guys, you can't. Nobody can claim anti-Semitism when Israel was created under the guise of refuge to escape from it. So,
what do you mean? What if somebody's never been to Israel?
Too bad, bro. Either quit bitching
or go to Israel.
Quit bitching or pack up.
That's
fair.
We're
still paying. I mean, Israel will take people for free to come into their country, especially if they're fleeing a crime like pedophilia, which they do all the time. I mean, that guy, that Israeli cybersecurity guy who got caught up in that thing in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
He was supposed to show up for court. Never did.
Yeah. I don't know how that worked. I'm curious what the follow-up on that is. Because, again, you normally, I guess that's the conspiracy theory here, is that normally you can't do that, and he did. He basically got caught in like one of the Alex Rosen things.
Oh, no, it was actually set up. I think it was actually set up by
No, it's set up by the
yeah,
it was the Las, but I'm saying it was like a similar to that where he was just like talking to them, which is so crazy that I'm like, what guy is just like, yeah, this fucking 13-year-old
and the most famous judges who argue that it's a form of entrapment, they're all Jews.
Yeah.
So
I don't know if that's true or not, but
I mean, it is. It's like case law and documented.
Well, I mean, there are a lot of Jewish lawyers and judges.
Yeah, but in terms of the Monroe Doctrine, it's like, look, we want to have a good neighborhood. So, like, we don't want to have neighbors who play their music loud as fuck past 10.
Sure. Hey,
we don't want to have
preaching to the choir here.
We don't want to have neighbors who have their hood ghetto-ass cousins pulling up, every fucking weekend or a couple times, a week. Because it's like they're just bringing in the riffraff.
Yeah.
So
you like it. So basically, you're in favor of them doing this. What about Cuba?
Well, what is it? What I like, it was quick and surgical.
Yeah, that's the best part is like everybody's all about like, because everybody just keeps referencing Iraq and Afghanistan where there's like these 20-year wars cost a fortune. And you're like, this was
this
thing was like as good as it could get.
That was a long con. That was a long con, bro. That was to completely destabilize those regions for the greater Israel project, which is still going on.
I guess. Did it work? Did it do anything favorable for Israel? Seems like it's the same shit. Bro.
I mean, America just has a lot of beef with strong men with mustaches.
I do. You know what? I saw the sketch of Maduro today in court, and I go, he looks exactly like Saddam in the sketch. I did have that exact thought. Where I go, he looks exactly like Saddam in the courtroom sketch.
But with Cuba, I mean, it's a socialist shithole. It's just also a shithole because it's full of Cubans.
I like the Cubans.
I mean, look,
you don't like the Cubans? I feel like once a Cuban gets to America, once they touch American soil, they're like the most patriotic Americans.
No. But before I left Houston for Austin, we had a huge influx of these fresh Cubans. These are not like the Miami MAGA Cubans. They're like more like the Tony Montana Cubans. Yeah, fucking grimy, slimy sons of bitches. Fuck them.
All right.
But with Cuba, like, I'm not all like, we can annex them as like a territory. You know, we can make
Yeah, give them
Teddy
the Puerto
Roosevelt
Rico
proud.
treatment. Turn it into like a
Yeah,
Macau. Just be like, we're gonna turn this place into like what it used to be. Like this is just gonna be like some like a
make
Vegas
Havana great
East.
again.
Yeah, like a Vegas kind of East thing where you go, we're just gonna build a bunch of hotels and casinos. I mean, the like they have nice beaches. They have everything going for them other than their dumbass fucking government.
It's such
They're
a
highly
shit-
educated.
Cuba is such a shithole that they couldn't industrialize enough to ruin their nature and landscape.
Yeah,
So-
that's a positive.
Yeah, no, it'll be great for tourism. It's massive.
I mean, Canadians go there nonstop, but the thing is, it's just the resorts there blow. It's like if you ever go to any Canadians that have ever been to a resort in Cuba,
I've seen
it's
a few documentaries,
dude.
Yeah,
They'll be like, this is a 5-star resort.
You gotta fly in. You gotta fly in with all the money you intend to spend.
Yeah, but like if you go to a resort that's like they'll say this is a 5-star resort, it's literally like a 3-star resort. Like the food is terrible, like everything's terrible, and you go, this is just the best they can do. Although I did spend a week in Havana, and as rundown as that place is, pretty fun time. I like a cool city, not a lot to do.
I would suggest if they do get annexed and there's a list of embargo and there's a normalization of economic trade and all that, get into the business of selling auto parts, especially for classic cars.
Yeah, well, the classic car things is not by choice. There, it's just that's just
Yeah, I
the
know,
cars
but
they have.
they have to
I
make
think
their
they'll
own
be
parts,
fucking happy
but-
to ditch those things once and for all.
Yeah, look, there's a lot of economic opportunities, but something just has to be done about the Jew. It's the world needs.
Dude, you know you're gonna be. How old are you, Slav? You're like in your 30s.
30.
You are gonna be fucking literally. If you live to 80 years old, you're gonna be 80 years old. You're gonna be like, something needs to be done about the Jew. You're gonna be like a fucking like a parrot. You're just gonna be like, something needs, and the people are gonna be like, okay. You'll be like,
I mean, look.
You'll be like walking around a bus station,
maybe-
being like, something needs to be done about it. And people go, okay.
Listen, in our lifetime, the Jew can reach a milestone where instead of 100, they have their 109 countries. I think it's like 112 now.
What's
But
the other 3?
Imagine. Well, there was the Maldives.
Yeah, but but I can go to the Maldives. They just banned Israelis. It's a different type of Jew.
You don't have an Israeli stamp in your passport?
No, I was in Israel when I was 14. No, I go. That's the thing. And they would look at me. They go, "Oh, that's just a good, nice European stock right there."
No, they're gonna look at you and then they'll see the name.
No, I'll be like, "Dude, I'm Russian, man. What do you mean?" I'll be go, "I'm one of the good ones," and I go, "All right."
But
I don't have a Jewish last name.
But with this milestone, think about it. This would be like the greatest thing on a plaque. 109 countries and one planet. We could just
Well, I think the one planet supersedes the countries. I think once you get one planet, you no longer have to reference the countries. You just go, got them. And then you start being like, how many other planets can we remove them from?
Hey, Elon Musk is trying to fill up Mars, you know?
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't think there'll be a lot of Jews
know.
going to Mars.
Well, look, it's one step closer to Saturn.
I'll tell you, Jews will go to Mars once they need like banking. Once they need like credit and banking set up, Jews will be like, "Oh,
bro,
right,
they could trade. They could trade all the Martian rocks.
Yeah, they
away
will.
from us.
They will, man. Well, but then people are going to want to go to Mars and they'll be like, "There's fucking Jews here." You'll just be stuck on.
And lastly, Somaliland.
Yeah,
that's a Jew. That's also a Jew op.
I mean, it seems like it. I don't even tell me more about this. I saw this and then I was like, I didn't even know Somaliland was a place. Can you give me some context on this about why? What did Israel just recognize them to just fuck over regular Somalia?
Okay, so are you familiar with the history of Somalia?
I'm not. No.
Yeah. So they used to be a shithole. I mean,
I think they're probably still a shithole.
Yeah. What is it? It was way back in history. They used to be like because they're right there on the Strait of Hormuz, major Arab trading port, and then they were able to somewhat stave off this colonialism, and then they had a major brutal dictatorship. The last of their dictator was the father of Ilhan Omar.
Really?
If you're familiar with.
Yeah, I saw some linkage to her.
No, it's direct blood lineage. Yeah, she even consummated her marriage with her brother.
Yeah, I know who she is.
Shit. Yeah. So he was the one brutalizing all the different ethnic minorities and different clan rivalries. I mean, that's the reason why Minneapolis didn't elect that one Somali guy, because there's a clan feud.
Yeah, remember the guy Abdul called in, remember? And he goes, my mom wouldn't vote for that guy because of their long-standing clan feud.
Yeah, we still got our eye on you, Abdul, if you're listening. Sneaky fuck. There was not one white name on any of those documents. Not a single white person committed fraud. But, so he did that, and then it just basically devolved into civil war. But in Somaliland, which is on the northern portion, they were they somehow the strongest holdout, and they're the ones who are the biggest opponents of whatever sort of government is recognized there, and Al-Shabaab. So Israel recognized them. I mean, they've been trying to get recognition for the past, 15 years.
Yeah.
Or so.
Well, watch them turn into the most prosperous fucking country in that region.
I mean, dude, if Somalia was taken over by Blackwater, they have all that coastline. They have a lot of minerals inland.
Yeah.
I mean,
look, it's the stories all the time. These countries cannot help themselves. You go, hey, you have everything set up here to be prosperous, but they just can't stop fucking with their fighting with their blood feuds.
It's that film Empire of Dust. These people are just incapable, and they have the whole internet at their fingertips. They can figure out how to build society. But
they could be like Nigerians, romance scamming everybody in the West. They just can't figure it out. All right, Slav.
But so if you look at the map, of Somaliland, it is directly across from Yemen. So, and Israel's already building a military. So
is this part of the Greater Israel project to have Somaliland?
They're not going to include it, but it's the same way how U.S. has military bases all over the Middle East.
Right. All right. Cool. All right, Slav. Good talking to you, man. Later. Slav, everybody. Somaliland sounds like the crappiest theme park, doesn't it? Poison 1553, Pablo says, glad to have you back with the Scroats, Danny. If the show didn't come back, I might have to resort to violence. Polar Bear Proxy says, howdy, Danny. Can I kick it with you and grab a drink after one of your Fort Worth shows? I will be Mr. Cool this time, for real. Of course. Absolutely. Come say what's up. Let's grab a drink. That goes to anybody. Come to one of my shows. I'm not one of these big timer comedians who's like, oh, I don't fraternize with the fans. In the Dallas shows last time, a bunch of us went out. I hung out with Haro and Chris, or just Chris. It was a good time. So yes, come out. Poison 1553 says, again, if we can give Cuban girls food, they would start getting hot like the Miami Cubans. I think that's worth taking over the island. Not the worst idea. Not the worst idea. I think this could be good for everybody. All right, the phone lines are open, 1-888-949-2969. We have some callers in the queue. Room for a few more. If you have any thoughts on this whole Minnesota daycare fraud, this whole Venezuela stuff, call in. Or anything else for that matter. Any conspiracies, anything you got. Let's hear it. All right, let's go to this caller right here. And then we're going to go to Pablo after that. Hello. Nope. It looked like he was going to pick up, and then he didn't. I think he almost unmuted himself. And, of course, I got to do the thing where when I go to unmute somebody else, There's got to be a better way to do this. There must be. Maybe I'll figure it out in fucking 2028. All right, let's go to Pablo. Pablo knows how to pick up. Pablo's one of the good Mexicans. Pablo!
Hello.
What's up, dog? Happy New Year, man.
Happy New Year's, Danny. It's great to hear from you. And like I said, if you hadn't come back, I might have, might have done some violence. But I'm glad you're back.
I ain't going anywhere. Glad to talk to you. What's up, man?
Want to talk about our latest and greatest news, obviously, the fact that the Power Rangers went into Venezuela and brought out, a wannabe Kanye West.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's pretty
nice
sick.
track fit.
Pretty sick. Like, that's the thing. I know there's so many like leftists who just reflexively. It was weird, by the way. I've seen some people comment this, but this operation, they got Maduro at 4:30 in the morning, and there were like these super organized protests at 10 a.m. the next morning, all with signs printed off. I'm like, that doesn't even make sense to me. Like, does someone see this happening and they're just someone must own like one of these democratic socialist organizations must own a sign shop, and they're like, they just go drive over, unlock it, and they just start printing signs all over the country?
If you ask Slav, it was probably the Jews.
Probably the Jews. I mean, if we look at who owns the sign shops, I would have to concede that to them. But it's just how coordinated they are. This doesn't even make sense. Obviously, they didn't know about this in advance. So I guess maybe that's what it is. They're straight up just like calling up. You have all these signs to print off because they're doing it like immediately.
I mean, it was impressive, but like I was saying, it's way more impressive with the fact that we, launched 3 missiles and then bam, he was gone.
Pretty much, dude. Did you see that one video where someone, I guess probably one of the Cuban soldiers starts shooting at their helicopter, and they just murked this dude. They shot like 10 missiles at a guy. Maybe there's multiple guys, but like there's this one video where you just see like a little bit of gunfire and then just like it looked like a video game.
I did see it, and I have to say, I'm not really for war, but I saw that and I immediately went, you know what, I should sign up for the draft again.
Honestly, dude, I know I'm like
shit ever.
I'm way too old and I'm not even a citizen of this country, but I go, that's like, I could see like the military became so lame in this country. Like it wasn't like cool, but you see shit like that and you go, that's like with the Delta Force, you go, that's so fucking badass. How
fucking
sick would it
coolest shit ever. Even if you don't become Delta Force or a SEAL, just getting to be one of the gunmen in the helicopters who just fucking rains down on some poor little third world country fool is the coolest shit ever.
I know. And I know that like there's like this weird bloodlust element of it, and you're like, man, that I did get fired up. You see the shit and you go, that's so sick. Like that, like that's the thing that like kind of as someone who's not from America, and Canada doesn't do anything like that. But you're like, the fact that there's Americans who see that and they're like, that is not badass at all. That is not cool. And I go, what are you even talking about?
What are you talking about? And then the cooler part after that was when our defense secretary, Pete Hedge, did a press conference and he said, America can do what we want where we want it. And I was like,
I know.
That's right, man. I was like, that's fucking right.
I know that people hate America, and probably Americans, I don't know, like there's probably some people who like watch the show, listen to it, who probably weren't like old enough to remember the era where everybody hated America in the world, but we're slowly coming back to that, where like this is one of the things where literally everybody's going to hate America over this again. And there's a part of it is jealousy for sure, where they go, man,
100%.
Like a lot of it's jealousy. People won't admit it, but they go, fuck, I wish my country could do that. And they're just haters.
It's the coolest shit ever. Amazing. It's the coolest shit ever. You want something, you send a couple of aircraft carriers with F-22s and F-35s on it, and you just go, we're taking this, and you can either take our money or we can take it from you without the money.
Yeah.
And you're like, it's just so fucking cool.
And man, the message it sends to everybody else too. Like the message it sends like Russia, China, where you go like, you guys ain't got shit. Like you think you have these like fancy missile defense systems, these fancy radars, like none of this works. You tested it, like Russia spent billions of dollars essentially testing their shit in Venezuela, and they go, yeah, that was no problem. We got through it, no problem.
Worthless. It's worthless. They started showing off all their cool missiles at the beginning of the Ukraine war. Be like, we have hypersonic missiles. They haven't shown off they haven't used it ever since then. You go, oh, it was a one and done thing, dude.
Yeah.
Don't even worry about it. It's not a problem.
Apparently now America, because they were able to infiltrate Venezuela so easily too, is they know how all the Russians' radar, how it all works now. Like they're able to, I guess, like reverse engineer it all. So they know how it all works so that essentially telling Russia, like, you guys are fucked. It's incredible. And like the fact that any American would be like, this is not cool. I don't get it.
Right. And it's one of those things of like, you go, where's the money going? And you know it's going to that. And I kind of go like, man, it's kind of worth getting taxed out the ass for this.
That's money well spent, man. That didn't cost even as much as 100%. Fucking a quarter of that Minnesota daycare shit. How much could that whole thing have cost? $1 billion? It was 2.5 hours.
Listen, each Tomahawk missile is $1 million a piece. We launched like 3 into Venezuela, and then we got out on a helicopter that was probably $6 million at this point. It's
but they didn't lose but they didn't lose the helicopters. They got to keep. They had one helicopter take probably like some gunfire. They got to, they had to fucking patch some holes in a helicopter. Probably the biggest expense in this whole thing was fuel, and they got unlimited shit of that now.
Yeah, God, it's so fucking cool.
Yeah.
It's so fucking cool.
Badass.
And you know what? Anytime somebody goes, America sucks, you're war hungry, I go, dude, you wish you could do what we're doing. That's 100%.
It's
you wish
pure
you could
hate.
Be us.
It's pure haterade. I fully agree. I'm not even from this country, and I go 100%. Like, if you see that, and again, I know everybody's like, well, what if this is like some drawn out war? It's like, well, it wasn't. Just like it wasn't in Iran or Nigeria or Yemen. It's just like, these are like these surgical strikes. You go, it's so impressive, and people are just fucking all up in their shit.
Yeah, 100%. And, that's it. I mean, now we have all that oil. I know people are going like, oh, we can't even use that oil. The point isn't to use it now. The point is to use it later, to say at some point, like, hey, don't worry. If we lose all the oil in America, we got Venezuela, bitch. It's fine. The oil is here.
Yeah, the oil. And again, they don't even, I think the oil, it's more like Russia and China can't have the oil now. It was more of that than like America wants it. America has way more oil than Venezuela. America doesn't need this oil. They do need, maybe if so there could be some element here where they pull something with Canada, because Canada, like they have all these refineries in the United States that essentially can only process this type of like heavy sour crude oil, as far as I understand. So they could do some kind of fuck you to Canada where they're like, yeah, we don't even need your oil. We're going to just replace it. So there could be some kind of maneuver there to fuck over Canada to say like, because these refineries can only refine this like type of super heavy sour crude or whatever. So could be something there.
That's not true. That's not true exactly. I have a buddy who worked at a refinery here in Central California. The refineries can't only process heavy crude or light crude. So there's multiple grades of crude oil, obviously. And the different types of grades of crude have different elemental
they have different minerals and chemicals in them. Yeah.
Some are high in sulfur, some are low in sulfur. Some of them have more mercury in them. Yada yada yada. The important part is that all the American refineries are designed for the initial batch of crude oil we got out of the ground, which was like a medium grade crude oil that was low in sulfur. So if you want them to operate at maximum efficiency, that's the type of crude oil you need: a medium density, low sulfur. And right now, the majority of what we're pulling is a light density, low sulfur, and so we need a heavy density oil to mix it with, turn it into a medium density in order to keep the efficiency up.
Yeah,
so like if you didn't do that, you drop down. Them. Yeah, exactly. They'd have to spend more money. It's cheaper to just keep importing and mixing the oil, because now you're using less oil of the stuff you're pumping out. Yada yada yada. That's all it is.
Oh, interesting.
It's just trying to keep, money.
Yeah.
Money, keep profits high.
Cool. All right, Pablo, anything else, man?
I have one more thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
2026 in California, we are having a governmental election. Mm-hmm. Gavin Newsom cannot run again. He is out of terms. He'll probably, try to run for president later on. But I am wondering, I'm flirting with the idea of running for governor of California.
Run for fucking So stupid. Don't run for governor. That's a waste of money and time. If you can run for like go run for like some city council thing if you want to actually be in government.
I don't actually want to be in government.
Oh, well, if you don't want to be in government, then yeah, go fucking be like the porn stars. Probably there's like 50 porn stars who probably run for governor too, and they get 10 votes. Just so you can see your name on the ballot.
No, I was thinking about it. As using it as a stepping stone for eventually when I run for president.
Yeah, you're going to run for president having got 10 votes for fucking governor. And probably half of those votes will be your family who voted illegally for you.
That's all right. That's a good point, but you don't need to bring that up.
Don't waste your time. Who's the front runner for California governor?
I have no fucking idea. It's barely started, and you have to put in. I think March is the final day for everybody who wants to run for governor. Also, they require like a $5,000 paycheck.
Yeah, there's like a big
just
fee.
to run. And I'm like, that's
just
ridiculous.
To weed out the psychos. Don't do that. Don't waste your time. You should be spending your time trying to bang chicks, which I'm sure you've made no progress on.
Why would I make progress? I'm too busy working.
Lost cause, man. You think I would vote for that? You think anybody wants to vote for a fucking guy your age who gets no sniz?
That's a very good point. You're right. All right,
Get the sniz first, then you run for governor. You can run in 2030. You can run in 2030 once you're swimming in sniz. All right, later, Pablo. Later. Everybody. Guy gets no sniz, wants to run for government. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. All right. Phone lines are open, 1-888-949-2969. We're going to take some more callers. Probably have time for a few more of you to call in if you want to. Let's go to unknown name. Hello, you're on Low Value Mail. Who am I speaking with?
Yo, what's up?
What's happening?
It's not Matt.
Not Matt. What's up, dog?
What's up? First off, how are you going to talk about Maduro and not talk about the Nike tech? That fit was insane.
So say that again. Talk about who?
Maduro's fit.
Oh, his fit. Oh, yeah. The Nike tech? Yeah, the Nike tech was pretty hot. I think I used that same sleep
Greatest
mask.
Thing
actually.
to come out of all this.
I know. I think I used that exact same sleep mask. It's from Amazon.
Have you seen all the memes of the match this fit?
No, I haven't.
The style guide to buy it.
No, I haven't. I heard that Nike like ran out of them though. Like some places you couldn't even buy them.
Yeah, I was going to try and get one and go out this weekend.
Yeah.
It would be so much fun.
Oh, dude. I mean, I've seen a lot of people complaining where they're like, when I wear this on Halloween, nobody's going to know what the fuck I am because it's too far away.
Oh, the Latinos will remember. Like that shit gets burned in forever.
Yeah. It's a pretty iconic photo. I mean, the fact that they like fucking blindfold his ass, it's pretty sick. But yeah, I did see the Nike fit. And then I saw that he was wearing that like jujitsu shirt or whatever.
Apparently it was Jocko's.
Yeah, it's Jocko's company. Too. Yeah, it is Jocko's company. I guess somebody just. I wonder if
it's
like,
literally
if it was by design or they just
like turned it into an advertising campaign.
Oh, amazing! I mean that amount. That's probably millions of dollars of just free advertising.
Oh yeah, but the one thing that I don't think you've talked about, is it was brought up the whole revolution in Iran.
Yeah. No, I brought it up briefly.
The first thing that Iran will do, but the first thing that they'll do if they sniff a coup or some sort of color revolution is shut the Straits of Hormuz, which is like roughly like 25-ish% of the world's oil.
Yeah.
And so if you're pushing for that, you would want some sort of reserve supply.
Oh, interesting.
To basically stop the supply crunch.
Interesting.
This could be like
smart.
Literally just risk.
Yeah, but you know what the problem is with that is that they can't like Venezuela's only, as far as I understand, they do like 800,000 barrels of oil a day. They can't just ramp that up. Like they just don't have the infrastructure to immediately ramp it up. I think I saw someone on like the oil Twitter say they could maybe get to like 1 million right away, but like to get that huge number, it would take years and years and years. It's not something they could do immediately.
But it's still better. It's still better than zero. It'll still cushion the American economy.
It's still something.
Because the first thing that will happen, if oil price goes up, or goes up to 100, 150 a barrel, and you see prices of everything going back up, like that's the main complaint on the conservative side I've seen is that, hey, gas prices are down, but everything else is still expensive as fuck.
Yeah.
So if you get sticky prices ratcheting back up again, I think that'll lose 28 for Republicans easily.
Oh, for sure.
Trump and Netanyahu went on their campaign to depose the Ayatollah, and either Trump went along with it or he couldn't stop it. And either way,
everything's more expensive, and we don't give a shit. Yeah, that is a good point.
That's where you see most of the bleed.
Yeah,
that's the theory there. That's just like, I don't know, geopolitics Twitter that I read. But
now the question is if, but hold on, let me just ask you, if Iran goes to shut down the Strait of Hormuz, what is preventing the U.S., which has shown to be pretty willing to do it at this point, to just go like, all right, we're going to go fucking bomb your ass again. Like, you're not doing that. Like, we were going to bomb you into oblivion.
I mean, they very well could, but, look at, what Houthis, shooting pop rockets at oil tankers can do.
That's true.
What could, an established regime of Iran do? Even if they do have like old F-14s that are kind of falling apart, you can still drop bombs.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's how the Taliban took back Afghanistan.
Right.
It's that meme of, how are you going to fight jet planes, with your ARs and pistols? It's like, well, we're not targeting the planes. We're targeting the pilots and their families.
Right. Right. Yeah, this is a lot of moving parts here. A lot going on. That's the thing, is they do this shit and you're like, there's a million other things that could happen because of this that they probably have to prepare for to some degree. So.
Yeah, and the other thing I heard was that it was like an organized surrender. It was a face-saving for Maduro, where he, looks like he didn't get, he didn't surrender.
I did see that as well.
And look at the morale boost. Like, listen to you and Pablo. Like, fuck yeah, America, we're back.
Yeah.
It's like, American military hasn't been looking too hot lately.
No. I mean, they've been looking
public sentiment. So
as of recently, they've been looking pretty good, like with, Nigeria and Iran and all that stuff. But I did see that essentially because of the Cuban influence in Venezuela, that if Maduro surrendered, they were just going to kill him. The Cubans were going to kill him. And he's surrounded by Cubans, like because he didn't trust any of the Venezuelans for security, just I guess based on what was going on in the country. So it was, and that's how Cuba got all their oil. So if he was like, I'm surrendering, Cuba would just have him killed. So I did see that potentially this is all a fucking show, and that he actually wanted them to come get him.
I believe that, and
possible.
Delcy Rodriguez, I've heard she's very much a technocrat, not much of an ideologue. So, putting her in charge saves face for the regime, because it's still the same regime, just no Maduro.
Yeah, but I think the plan is like they have to have an election. Like she can manage in the short term until they have a proper election. Like I don't think she's just installed indefinitely.
It is, but her brother is in charge of like the legislature, is my understanding. And I'm getting a lot of this from my buddy from Venezuela who lived in Caracas, who came over on TPS.
Oh, okay.
Where you're not toppling the regime. Like look at what happened with Trump. He came back into power and relatively little's been done.
Right.
You can't, changing one person doesn't really impact the system.
Mm-hmm.
And the system of Venezuela is completely fucked. But you put a technocrat in charge who understands that, like, America can get you, maybe you have some results.
Yeah.
And the main thing was it gives a guise for America to drop sanctions, or at least relieve them, so money can start flowing back into Venezuela. It starts relieving tensions, because Trump and Maduro are both shit talkers. So, neither one of them is going to turn.
No.
So you need some sort of silent technocrat to kind of manage, the economy, but also the relationship and the kind of silent partnership. And that's that's kind of my view on it.
Yeah,
and this is coming from a libertarian, so
right.
For none of it happened. But
Yeah, the
I
libertarians,
also
I
have
don't
a
hate
bunch
this
of
stuff.
like Latino friends. All my Venezuelan friends are like, well, the ones that were from Venezuela, they're like, fuck yeah, this is awesome.
Oh, they love.
And
They
then
must
all my,
love
like
it.
Latino friends that were, all the ones that are like no sabos, which basically means they're brown skinned Latinos but don't speak a lick of Spanish.
Okay.
They're all about, they're all screaming about American imperialism. This is horrible. And then all the ones that are, from Latin America, they're like, no, fuck you. This is awesome.
Yeah, they love this.
Like, it's
They are
a fun little dichotomy.
Yeah. I guess it just shows where people's interests lie. Where the people who are like, yeah, this actually fucked up my country.
Too.
Yeah. I mean, there are people who live through their country, especially in Venezuela, where they're like, yeah, our country used to be awesome. And now it's like in one generation, it turned into a fucking shithole. Like, I'm sure those.
Well, I mean, El Salvador too, where like a lot of those like non-speaking Spanish Latinos, they despise Bukele, but all my like Salvadorian friends who used to visit the country when it was bad, they're like, no, dude, save the country.
Yeah.
Like,
I have a friend who's
I want
El
to live
Salvadorian.
there.
I have a friend who's El Salvadorian, but he's I knew him in Canada, but he lives here now. He's a comic, but he's like super liberal, and like you can see it like pains him to say that he's like it's good now. What's like the country's good now, but he hates it because he's like he doesn't like all the other stuff of like the CCOT and all that stuff. But he's like it like pains him to admit that he's like it's way better.
I mean, that's the funniest thing to me is like all the Latinos who are just openly, about like why they're here, where they're like, yeah, I'm in America because my country sucked.
Yeah, like the Venezuelans.
Now
like,
I have a bunch of friends.
Yeah. We're essentially being forced to migrate.
Exactly. That's the other theory I've heard in the more conservative circle of friends is that this is an excuse for Trump to just deport more Venezuelans, but quell the claim.
Yeah, I saw that, but
here for actual asylum.
Yeah, I saw that, but there's the stat I found was there's like 700,000 to 900,000 Venezuelans in the United States. I would have guessed it would have been way more than that, but I'm like, that's kind of a small dent, really. If that's all there is, even if you sent them all back, like it's obviously not nothing.
Was that just TPS? Was that just asylum, or was that?
I think that's the full. I think that's
like illegal?
Illegal. I think that's the full number, but it's an estimate. It could be way higher than that, but that's the estimate. I think it was like I read 700,000 to 900,000 because I thought that too, and I go there must be millions, and that would work. But I go 700, like it's not nothing. It's obviously the size of like a decent sized city, but if there's 100 million illegals in this country, you go I guess it's something. I don't know.
I mean, most of the ones I know are like really, really getting into gear on getting status changes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you'll actually be familiar with this. So, like, there are multiple ways you can derive a green card. Temporary protected status is one of them, but they're all doing status changes for like green cards through marriage,
right?
Just to be protected from that, which I'm curious to see how that'll go. But
yeah, because Kristi Noem said something where they were doing that, and then the White House tweeted and they go, "We're not doing that." So yeah, it's kind of
I don't know. I'd rather have Latinos here than like the H-1Bs. Honestly,
yeah, Latinos are the best. I don't know.
At least I can. Dude, I fucking love Latinos, dude.
Yeah, I've never had an issue with
one of my one buddy from Venezuela. I was trying to get him to call in. And sent him a couple episodes of this show. I'm one of the people that does share your show.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I have some fairly
real
friends who don't get scared off.
Mm-hmm.
But if you ever come back to like the Maryland or Virginia area, I'll do the drinking after the show.
Yeah, for sure. I have a bunch of more dates that coming up, and definitely will be somewhere in around that area for sure.
Yeah, come to Magoovies.
Magoovies. Yeah, I'm gonna work on it. All right, man. I gotta let you go. Good talking to you.
Talk to you later.
Later.
Peace.
All right. Oh, now we got lots of colors. Look at that. Look at that. Let's go to Chris. Chris from Dallas. He's pretty good about this. But now he's not picking up. Chris, you're better than this. You're better than this, Chris. Uh-oh. He's not picking up. All right. Oh, there we go. Chris!
Howdy and good evening. Am I speaking with Danny Polishchuk on Low Value Mail?
You are. Happy New Year, Chris. Glad to hear from you.
How about that? Happy New Year, Danny. It's so great to hear from you.
Likewise.
Yeah, man. That was my super chat earlier.
Oh, that was
Requesting
you.
to grab a drink with you after one of your Fort Worth
Oh,
shows.
I didn't know that. Yeah, of course. Of course, Chris.
Oh, sick, man. Yeah, I mentioned I'll be Mr. Cool this time around.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Has that always been your YouTube name?
I guess, kind of. I have a lot of accounts.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, what I mean to say is I won't be nodding off at the show of yours, and I'm going there to enjoy it and have a good time.
Okay, great.
And, yeah, dude, this Maduro shit is crazy.
It is nuts. Yeah.
I had some thoughts, I guess.
Sure. Let's hear it.
Yeah, well, man, I get so scatterbrained. You know, sometimes prior to calling into the show, I'll open up like a notepad file and just write down some thoughts that I might want to discuss on the show.
Sure.
But they're just all over the place. So
that's fine.
You'll have to cut me some slack.
That's fine.
Well, my first reaction is like Pablo's earlier. Dude, hell yeah. I love how fired up he was.
Yeah. I was fired up too.
When you see the Jets and stuff, it's like, it's impossible not to, I mean, if you're at a football game and they do the flyover, if you're not emotionally impacted by that, something's wrong with you. You know?
And it's just,
you're
like
definitely not an American.
It's just like excellence. I don't even know how else to explain it. It's almost like watching a pro.
It's like
athlete.
a Michael Jordan slam dunk.
Yeah, it's like you're like watching like the best basketball team in the world execute at the highest level, and you go like, that's just impressive. Like this is the best of the best doing something like perfectly. You just go, that's amazing.
It was the surgical strikes, just the precision involved, like you said. Yeah, it was funny to hear like YNs from Chicago reacting. They're like, damn, Trump gangster as fuck. He dropped in that bitch, kicked the door down, and left with him and his bitch in like 2 hours.
Yeah.
They're like, and he got his bitch.
Yeah, and he got his bitch.
Yeah, so crazy, man. Yeah, so that's my first reaction, like on a gut level. And like in the immediate wake of it, I don't know, man. I saw this clip earlier of Trump answering questions related to this aboard Air Force One, and he had Lindsey Graham standing next to him.
I did see that.
And
Lindsey Graham.
He was smiling so
like his fucking
demonically.
lapdog,
like,
too.
Yeah, man. And that's just bad vibes all around. Like, anything that's got Lindsey Graham looking like that is a net negative, if you ask me.
I agree.
And,
I agree with that. I didn't love
know.
Lindsey Graham right there.
So I think some of like the Dave Smith types are overreacting. I think Dave Smith himself is sort of boxed into like, I mean, it's a difficult position. Like, I don't know. I thought he was pretty vague in his first post, his first tweet about it. But you
know what? Sorry to cut you off. Hold on. Sorry to cut you off, but I saw Slav just posted this in the chat, and now I'm seeing the possible coup underway in Venezuela per local reports. Heavy anti-aircraft firearms near presidential palace in Venezuela. Again, we don't know if that's who is doing that.
It's lit.
It's lit, yeah, but there's again, you would have to expect something like this. I can't imagine America's back for round 2 this quickly. That seems crazy. All right, well, we'll have to see. If I can't watch these videos. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I mean, I was also awake when all this was first going down, and there was, like you, there was no way I was going to sleep.
No,
like,
I did go to sleep at like 3, because I went to bed at like 3:30, and I was like, yeah, this is gonna be like a long operation, so I'll wake up, and I didn't expect to wake up, and they're like, oh, Maduro's like back in the U.S. I did not expect that.
So after after you got totally Jewed, like out of your crypto, do you still hold coins right now?
I have like a little bit of like Bitcoin and some Ethereum.
Yeah, those are going crazy in the wake of this. That was awesome.
Yeah, I have some. Nothing too crazy though. I started doing this thing where whenever I get paid for spots, like whenever I like someone pays me for spots for like over Venmo, I just go and I immediately convert it to Bitcoin in the Venmo app.
Yeah.
As like a
I mean,
account.
I just it's been working out for me, but I don't even really at this point in time, dude. It's tough for me to even talk about Trump. Like I was so in on the MAGA train, dude, and like when he got fired at in Butler, Pennsylvania, it really felt like he had the mandate of heaven. You know, like he had everything going for him. And if you remember all the support he had, especially from like the 18 to 29 demographic. Like young college kids were coming out wearing red hats, voting for Trump. Like it felt like the culture had actually turned in real life.
Yeah.
And
it did, I think.
So much of that, it felt like has been lost now, like only a year into his administration. And I don't know, he's just looking as old as ever. And
hey man, that job ages you, man. That's famously that job. Like they always show the photos of when you go into the Oval Office, when you come out, that shit fucking adds 10 years to your life probably, or takes away, I guess. But
no doubt.
It ages you, man. I mean, dude, he's like, you got to just give the go ahead. You got to be such a sociopath to be the president because you literally have to just be like, yeah, we're doing this thing. And they're like, yeah, it's going to kill 80 people. Like that's the original death toll was 80 people, I think, in Venezuela. I think it was, they showed this thing where they bombed some like grandma's fucking house. And you're like, you got to just be like, yeah, I'm about to go kill fucking tons of people. And you just got to go to sleep. Like nothing happened.
Yeah. Certainly. It feels like, that always sort of confused me. So in like 2016, that's when like I first like became based, right? It was like, Trump on the escalator, the Mexicans are rapists. It was watching Tucker Carlson and Pizzagate in real time on 4chan and stuff. And it felt like as some of these positions that were like post the Tea Party era, like, and certainly after like the Paul Ryan and Mitt Romney types who are now in the rear view, like this based MAGA coalition that was coming to form. And I was sort of confused as the positioning was like, we're against immigration and, we're like against feminism and we're hard right on these social issues. Oh, and we're anti-war. We don't like war. We don't like military ops overseas. That always sort of tripped me up. Like the rest of the positions, I would have felt like, these people, I get it, they're trying to distance themselves from neocons and the pointless overseas entanglements in the Middle East and shit.
Yeah.
But, like, you can't distance yourself from, like, F-35s. Like, that shit is too cool to be, like, And so when Trump just bounces in and does this in 2 hours with Maduro in a surgical precision strike like this, it's, it's take with the bad with the good, I guess. But,
yeah, I mean, you got to do, like, again, like I said, the libertarian position always seems like you're like, I guess I get the non-aggression principle where you're like, yeah, we're not going to do anything until someone does something to us. But you're like, that's just like not how the world works. That's fantasy land. Again, I like the libertarians. I did their fucking presidential in Colorado where I went to their presidential debates and listened. And, I don't know a ton about libertarians, but I'm like, I saw it up close. There was like 6 guys who were running to be literally the president of the United States of America. They were all libertarians. And my main takeaway when I left was these people are fucking retarded. Like they live in an absolute fantasy land, like not rooted in reality whatsoever. They're like utopians. Honestly, I actually was thinking about this the other day. Because I remember one of the guys was like, yeah, we have a 0%, like we're currently getting 0% of the votes. Like someone acknowledged that, one of the candidates. There are probably more people who identify as communists in this country than libertarians. Like, communism is probably way more popular right now than libertarianism. As stupid as that is, you're like, that's how stupid libertarianism
because
is.
there's some positions where they are right on. Like,
Yes,
they
some
were the
positions
only ones
they
really
are.
loudly shouting "Free Ross Ulbricht," right?
For sure.
They're right on some positions.
100%. Like, some of the positions,
But
you
you're
go,
right.
great.
They live in a fantasy land.
But then you put them all
It's
together,
like,
and
yes,
you go,
you
this
should
is
end the
insane.
drug war.
Yeah, you put them all together, you
Yeah.
go, this is insane. Like, similar to...
Some of them are saying you should be able to sell heroin to 14-year-olds.
Yeah, like look, no borders and shit. Like even I'm sure I could go through the communists, like through their, webpage and their manifesto or whatever. I'm sure I could find a couple points I agree with. But then when you take them all in total, you go, this is nonsense. And it's the same thing with the libertarians. You just go, this is crazy. Yeah. You guys don't want to do anything ever.
So, I'm going back to school.
Oh, it's great.
I really, like, my substance abuse problem, like, really kicked off, and like I was a total junkie like my junior year, and so I never finished college. So I only need like a semester, like 2.5 semesters.
Oh, that's great.
And so I re-enrolled, and I've got my classes this spring, and I'm pretty hyped about that. So I'm gonna graduate and get my degree, which like was always on my it was always just assumed that, of course. So I'm excited to finally go back and get that done.
Nice. How's the drug situation?
Dude, I'm doing my best.
It's
like,
tough.
As far as like where things are so much better now than when they were like when I was originally. I'm in a much better place.
Great.
Yeah.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah.
You got to make a plan to
I
just
appreciate it.
get off of this stuff entirely. I feel like you can't be a casual
100%.
opiate user. All right, Chris, I got to let you go, but good talking to you, man. I'll see you in Fort Worth.
Hey, it's good talking to you, Dan. Take care, man.
Later, buddy. Chris, everybody. All right. Ooh, we got a lot of callers now. All right, phone lines are closed. No more calls. Do not call in. I will get to you all. Please wait patiently. Let's go to Dylan. Oh, by the way, it was friendly fire. Breaking Venezuela presidential guard reportedly mistook their own drones for the enemy. Potential case of friendly fire. Potential. So we'll see. You can imagine they're a little trigger happy right now, but that's what I'm seeing on Twitter. Is likely they saw something and they started shooting at it, which makes probably maybe it's what's going on. Maybe it's not. I don't know. All right. Oh, you there? Hello. Hello.
Yes, I'm here. I'm letting you cook, dude.
Sorry, I was just updating people on the situation in Caracas. What's happening, Dylan? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year and happy birthday to me.
Oh, happy birthday.
Thanks.
Today?
I didn't know if I was going to make it. Yeah, but I just made it one day. It would have been perfect if I was born one day
January
earlier.
6th?
It would have been 1/4/88.
Oh, 1/4. Oh, I thought you wanted to be born on January 6th. Oh, you almost were 1/4/88. Oh my God, that would have been amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. My lovely daughter ruined my birthday dinner, so we had to go home early.
Oh, really? What happened? A little tantrum?
Yeah, a little tantrum.
She wouldn't say the 14 words at dinner?
Yeah, and so she did a couple of Sig Heils and goose stepped out of the restaurant.
Yeah, you guys got kicked out of the Waffle House for that?
Yeah, the Waffle House. So I don't know. I only caught the tail end of what Slav was saying, so I'm not going to go over the Somalia shit. He sounded like he already informed your illiterate ass.
Well, he's telling me about the Somaliland stuff.
Yeah, the Somaliland and how
Yeah.
basically they're in basically a pissing contest with Somalia, who's being a naughty boy and
Sure.
being in cahoots. So, but first off, this whole thing, obviously, everybody knows it's bullshit. It has nothing to do with the cocaine.
For sure,
smuggling or
100%.
Drug smuggling.
100%.
Because, for instance, Marco Rubio is friends with Daniel Noboa, and he's from the family, the Noboa Group family, who owned United Fruit, who was smuggling cocaine through the banana trade. They're also known as Dole Fruit now.
Yeah.
And he's obviously a huge Zionist. And then, have you discussed the Isaac Accords yet?
Can you speak a little louder? Or I don't know if you're on speakerphone, maybe.
Is this better?
Much better.
Is that
much
better?
better? Much better.
Okay, sorry.
All good.
Sorry, I just turned up my volume. So, have you spoken about the Isaac Accords?
No, I have not. I don't even know what those are.
Okay,
I only know
so
the Abraham
Isaac
Accords.
Accords is so they're actually the follow-up to the Abraham Accords, and what that is essentially a cooperation between Israel and Latin America. And for instance, we've got the leader. I posted it in the Patreon, but the current leader for the Isaac Accords is Fitzgerald Haney. He's a black man that worked for President Obama and then converted to Judaism.
Okay.
And he actually went and let's see, he is funded by the Genesis Prize, which is basically a prize that you get for being a friend of Israel.
Oh, why didn't I get one of those?
Oddly enough, he worked for Pepsi,
Okay.
just like that one Secret Service lady that got Trump almost killed.
Yeah.
And Javier Milei was the first non-Jew winner of the Genesis Prize.
Interesting.
And so he's headed, Fitz is heading the Isaac Accords, which is basically everybody that wins the Genesis Prize, which is $1 million prize, gives it back to the Isaac Accords. And so they go and fund basically NGOs through that. There's one called the Kulanu Group, and then there's also, I can't believe that they actually even call this by its name, but it's a Society for Crypto-Judaic Studies, which is another NGO.
Okay.
You know what their website is?
No. CryptoJew.com.
CryptoJew.com. Not even joking.
That's great.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what's the tie-in with all the Venezuela stuff here?
Okay, so all of this is basically a pissing contest they wanted to get Venezuela's oil, one, because they use it towards the futures. Obviously, you can't go and use that oil immediately. You got to put infrastructure in for it. But it's worth about $6 trillion. And as you know, Trump has printed out quite a bit of money in the last decade. And so in order for us to not default on our debt, we basically have to open up a new credit card. I've been telling you about this for a while, is that basically the reason we go into these places is to open up a new credit card.
Essentially.
And just keep printing out money.
Sell the resources out into the future.
Yeah. So you've got insurance policies and all that is one of the biggest money makers now. Everybody's using algorithms to create basically like a futures market on a futures market. And so they keep pushing it down. So then they've got also the guy that Trump pardoned, the Honduran.
Yeah, the Honduran for 400.
Was,
what was it? 400 tons of cocaine.
Yeah. Guess what he did?
What did he do?
He graduated from Israel's Mashav Young Leadership Program in 2019, and also got the Friends of Zion Award.
Really? You
so
don't
all of this,
say.
Yeah.
You're so much more informed than Slav, by the way. I don't even know how the two of you could have a conversation.
Slav knows a lot of shit. He knows his geography. I've just been wanting to do a video on this, but I haven't had time because I've been moving. So I just kind of wrote notes. I'm a little scatterbrained because I just kind of wasn't sure I was going to be able to come in here
Yeah.
tonight. But I would highly suggest everybody look at the Isaac Accords. The other thing, too, is BRICS. I'm sure you know what BRICS is.
Yeah.
It's being headed by the former heads of IMF. And one of the head guys is from Brazil, the head leader of BRICS. And that's why this whole thing is kind of being a pissing match for kind of control and dominance over the new emerging markets. And BRICS, Brazil being such a big part of basically a system to get off the SWIFT system. So essentially they're trying to get away from the dollar. Somebody a week ago, no, 2 weeks ago, was talking to you about the COMEX and the, what's it called, the London Bullion Exchange. And I had mentioned that months before about how they can basically make up the price that they want of gold with the papers off of it. What are they called? The ETFs.
Mm-hmm.
They can divide that up into like 50 parts, kind of like they do like fractional reserve banking off of gold. So that was, as I mentioned,
and all the derivatives on them, probably.
Yeah, and so with China trying to get off of our, what is it, the fucking
U.S. dollar,
holding our debt.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're trying to get off of our debt. Everybody's been buying gold and trying to move into BRICS. That's why this whole thing about owning the oil, on top of that, we don't need oil. The whole oil market is essentially like a giant pool. So it goes all over the place. If it doesn't sell in one place, it just gets transferred to another place. The problem is that our dollar is connected to the petrol dollar. So we don't have like the gold standard anymore. The only thing that sets the strength of the U.S. dollar is based off of the oil prices, generally.
So you're essentially saying that Trump is actually being truthful when he's like, we just want the oil.
He doesn't want the oil. He wants
the rights
of the oil,
the control of the oil. Yeah.
That's why I said it's the futures of oil, because it's worth somewhere between $6 to $8 trillion, but it's not worth anything right now. It's the idea of it.
Yeah, of course.
That's why I said it's a
just
system.
the ownership of it. Yeah. So you're essentially saying he's going to go sell futures like way down the line for this oil that they technically have the rights to, I guess, to just fundraise.
That's why they did that in Ukraine. So in Ukraine, the whole thing was like they're developing it. That's why it's worth so much to them, because Britain, France, and Germany are at like over 100% debt to GDP. And so they're really, really depending on us to go and take over Ukraine so that they can develop that and use that towards the credit, because they don't have like the same backing that we do through the IMF and the City of London. They don't have they've exported all of they don't have the military, and they've exported all their industry to other countries. So they don't really have anything. So they don't have anything to back their currencies up, and the EU is really struggling right now. And then I guess everybody's all fucking gung ho about our technology with our weapons and how we invaded them. The Tomahawks, like the whole reason that we got into, Russia invaded Ukraine was over the Tomahawks. I don't know if you know this.
No, I don't.
Okay, so there's the MK-41 missile platform that is technically only for short-range defense, which has like a range of like 300 to 500 miles. But with a simple like programming switch, you can launch tomahawks off of it, which can carry nuclear warheads. So that was the impetus.
Oh yeah, I think you've told me this
for Russia. Yeah, and that's when in 2019 Putin wrote that letter to us saying, "All right, this is enough." And so we've been like so proud of our Tomahawk technology, but up until now, Russia and Iran both have you've heard the Oreshnik missile, the
No.
hypersonic ballistic missile. Okay, so they've developed a missile that's hypersonic, and what it does is splits up into, I think, 6 individual not warheads, they call them vehicles,
Okay.
and each one of them can go into separate directions and be controlled. And so it's very, very hard to defeat that because it's hypersonic. And they're developing technology that's a lot cheaper than like $1 million to $4 million Tomahawk missiles that are old technology. And so we're kind of boasting about stuff that we can't defeat. And that's why it was so important for America to step in with this 12-day war with Iran and Israel, because Iran is about at their wits' end, and they've been sharing technology with Russia, and they're gonna fuck up Israel. Like all these people that think that Iran backed down, that was kind of like an agreement. They didn't take out their, like they have tunnels all over that country.
Yeah, like they have tons of weapons.
Yeah. So,
you think soon? Do you think this is going to be something that's going to happen soon?
Huh? So they had to get rid of Venezuela so that Cuba couldn't sustain off of oil from Venezuela. But China and India and Russia can all get easily access from the north-south corridor from Iran, either through land or by sea. And so I wouldn't, and for us to go over to their neck of the woods and fight them is a really bad idea.
Yeah.
Like we're really stretched thin. And I mean, I've spent a lot of time around like military guys, and they're not the cream of the crop that you think.
Yeah, like they're not all
a lot of
Delta
them
Force.
are fucking retards.
Sure.
So, like it's I don't have much else to say, but I just kind of wanted to get that out there.
Yeah.
Like, don't fucking think that we're the top dog right now. Like we're really playing a dangerous game and doing a lot of this for Israel. You might think that like it's just like that I have this hard on for Jews or I have this blind hatred for Jews. It's just Israel is controlling us, and it would be great if everybody woke up to it. I don't really expect anybody to that hasn't, unless they go and look for it themselves. It's more of me just warning the people that are already like wanting this information so they can be prepared economically.
Sure. Interesting. Yeah. I mean, I'm curious to see how this all kind of shakes out, because Trump is doing a lot of shit all at once. Normally it's, I don't even think Biden did one thing in 4 years like this.
No, he did. Biden basically started Ukraine.
That's true.
Trump kind of, like Biden started it. He kind of set it off with Obama when he was in the Obama administration. Trump, during the Russiagate thing, was trying to prove himself that he wasn't a Russia, a Russia stooge. And so he did what Obama wouldn't do, which was arm the Ukrainians. So he's actually the one that's at fault for actually doing what Putin originally got pissed off for. And in fact, the way that Obama and Biden took over Ukraine was exactly what they're doing now in Venezuela, where they're faking and give supplies to these protesters. A lot of the protests that you're seeing right now in Venezuela are actually old footage.
Yeah, I
A
know.
lot of
There's been
people are
so
pretty
much.
fucking pissed off.
I mean, I saw the Nick Shirley posted something from I think it was maybe from a World Cup or something, and he was
Mhm. Yeah.
he got. The problem is people
my
post so
dad's
much
from South America.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's from Chile. And I spent a month down there as a kid. Like it's insane. Like my dad always jokes about how like at least Chile is always in revolution, but at least it's consistent. And it's when I went down there, it was nice. Like they may have like poor people, but like they don't have the fucking like black stabbing people and doing all this fucking crazy shit that we have in this country. Like they're and the other thing also, I forgot to mention was that Venezuela and Iran are basically there's a video circulating about how they were basically the biggest proponents of anti-Semitism. If you ever look at the speeches that Maduro's given about Zionist Jews, they're not too nice. And
No.
same thing with the Colombians.
But he is Jewish, apparently. That's what Slav's saying.
Sephardic, they say.
Well, his early life says that his grandfather was. Slav said his grandfather was a rabbi.
I don't know, but like, I mean, dude, it's the way that I don't fault you for your horns that you have to hide behind your curly locks.
Yeah, they're there. You can't see them. That's why I grow my hair out. They're there. Yeah.
It's looking good.
Looking good. Thanks. All right. Well, happy birthday, Dylan. How old are you?
All right.
36? 38.
38.
38. All right. Congrats.
Yep.
Happy birthday, Dylan. Later, buddy. Dylan, everybody. All right. We're going to take 3 more calls, and we're going to wrap this up. Don't go nowhere. If you're on the line, don't go anywhere. Hello. You're on Low Value Mail. Who am I speaking with?
Hey, Danny. This is Luis.
Luis. How's it going, man?
Hey, pretty good. Hey, I just wanted to call real quick to shout out a YouTube channel that reports on like conspiracies and stuff that I think you and your viewers might be very interested in.
Yeah, let's hear it. What's it called?
It's called Scooper of Coop, and he has like some Scooper of Coop. He has like a ton of like really informative research into like many theories that are like kind of out there that you've probably heard of.
Okay.
Like the Las Vegas shooter. He does like he recently released like a lot of information on like Erica Kirk and like her ties and connection with like her uncle.
Family and child trafficking.
Yeah, he goes over that too. But one of the most interesting information about her that I haven't seen is like her family lineage, which her uncle's name is Alan Rothstein.
Interesting.
And he's been involved in like several criminal operations, including defrauding hundreds of thousands of dollars, and like having front companies that they basically like gotten a lot of like money fraudulently, and all that crazy shit with the Romanian like Angel Children organization. And he also has like this really interesting video on Ellen DeGeneres.
Oh, really?
And how, like, dude, you think like Ellen's like just some like talk show like idiot, but he's like connected to like several people that have like died mysteriously, and they all have one thing in common. Yeah, there's one thing in common that like these people that are connected to her they all died in a vehicle that like just so happened to have like lost control.
No way.
And in his research, he like shows that she's like the Ellen is connected to this person that has like ties to essentially like hacking vehicles.
Okay.
And like making it so that like they can be controlled remotely.
Okay.
So
I'll see if I can get this
like,
guy on as a guest.
Yeah, dude.
This would be.
Oh man.
This would be a cool guest.
And
Yeah, I'll see if I can find a contact for him.
He live streams his like some research too. Like recently, in the latest Epstein, like what's it called, like release.
Yeah.
they had like a phone number to like a massage person that was on the island, and he actually called them, and the person picked up, and he essentially like coaxed them into like revealing information about his relationship to Epstein.
Okay.
And like he was like super hesitant to talk, but he like got a little bit of information. Essentially, he was like given massage instructions on the island like 20 years ago.
Wow.
And yeah.
I can't find a contact for this guy. He has a Twitter, but it doesn't look like he uses it anymore. He hasn't tweeted in 2 years.
Yeah, he doesn't have a contact. Let me see.
Well, his Twitter doesn't. I see him on YouTube. And oh no, he has an Instagram actually. I can contact him on Instagram.
Yeah, and this is for business inquiries.
There you go. Okay, cool.
.com.
Yeah, I'll hit him up. I'll see if I can bring him on. I saw that Ian Carroll was on Tucker Carlson talking about all the Vegas stuff. And it's crazy because he's just regurgitating all the John Cullen stuff, and John Cullen's still MIA. Cannot fucking.
Well, actually, I actually, you know, he works with the guy called John Cullen. He works with a guy called, or in the past, he's worked with this guy called Crowdsource the Truth.
Yeah, Crowdsource. Yeah.
So Crowdsource the Truth, he does like blogs where he just walks around in public and like just talks about stuff. But he essentially talked about a relationship with John Cullen, and in that he explained that the reason that John Cullen went MIA is because John Cullen posted something about Crowdsource the Truth that was factually inaccurate, and Crowdsource the Truth threatened to sue him if he didn't remove it. And I guess he like threatened several times until he finally removed it. But after
and then John Cullen just John Cullen was like, says all sorts of crazy shit. It's like, why couldn't he just remove it? And oh yeah, I see a thing from him from 2 days ago that something about was the reason. He said something about Fort Huachuca as it pertains to Charlie Kirk. Why haven't they discussed the U.S. Army IS or Hades program? That was the reason I am John Cullen began acting so strangely towards me. Huh.
Yeah. So he's like he's not exactly MIA, but he's like purposely not posting. But like he's still alive.
Okay, so he's not dead. That just seems so weird that something like this would make him stop posting. He's posting fucking 40 times a day.
Yeah, I don't know if it was like pride or like, you know, something like that.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to check it out. I'm going to check him out. I'm going to check out Scooper of Coop as well. Anything else there, Luis? I just got to take a couple more calls.
No, that's all, man. Just
cool.
Everybody out there listening, check out Scooper of Coop. And yeah, thanks for the show, Danny.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. All right. We're going to go to the Goob, and then we're going to wrap it up with going up to Canada. Goob!
What's up, Danny?
How's it going, man? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. So, do you maybe want to take back some of your words about the Cinnabon girl?
Why?
All the Somali fraud. Maybe she was a little right. You know.
What do those two things have to do with each other?
What? She called the Somalis niggers.
No, I understand what happened. I'm saying, what does that have to do with the Minnesota fraud? I mean,
they're Somali.
So?
I feel like that connection's pretty direct.
So because she called, I don't get it. What are those two?
I'm saying it's the right thing to do to be bullying these people. She's an American hero, just like I said.
I mean, I think she's more like a white trash lunatic, but no. I mean, I saw some more videos that came out, actually. I saw the police body cam, and where she seemed potentially more unhinged than in the actual video that they took. And then I saw the interview with the couple, and they were like, because the couple basically threatened her because she was like, she was going to splash water. She's like nuts. I like, no.
Yeah, we need people to be more unhinged and more nuts.
I mean, again, it's
no,
like
but
if that's what you want, then you're like, but then everybody's more unhinged and nuts. I don't think this is the. It's not just like, oh, just white people are more unhinged.
The Somalis and everyone else is already unhinged and nuts, and it's like,
dude, I know several Somalis. They're literally normal people. I understand this whole fraud thing in Minnesota. I understand this whole fraud thing in Minnesota, but like, I know several Somali people, and they're normal people.
I do want to point out that, with all the focus on the Somalis, that this is not just the Somalis, it's all the foreigners.
For sure.
Like 80%, around like 80% of all these foreigners are all on welfare. They're all getting free housing, free food, free money. Your future, your current is being stolen. If you are a white American, your jobs are being taken, your future is being taken, your
any
homes are
American.
being taken.
Why white American?
Well, because there's a war against white people. There is a genocide going on very clearly.
What is this white? I always hear about this white genocide. What exactly is this?
Your denial of it is genuinely insane.
But like genocide is like a pretty specific thing.
The population of white people is decreasing rapidly.
Yeah.
And
but why can't white people just have more kids?
Because there is an active war and suppression of white people globally. Like your money is literally being taken from white people, given to brown foreigners. The oppression is extremely real, and it doesn't stop here. Again, it only gets worse, right? You know how everyone hates boomers for selling out the country? Boomers wanted to get their second vacation house, and so they didn't do the right thing. The same exact thing, our children will hate us as well, because we are sitting by and doing nothing. And they won't have jobs, they won't have homes, their situation will be significantly worse because white people are pacified, and they just want to live in a polite society like you do, Danny, instead of doing the right thing and bullying the fuck and being brutal as shit to all of these foreign pieces of shit that are invading our country. If we don't start, not being a polite society, we won't have any society at all. A man who's willing to risk nothing loses everything. And collectively, that is what we are doing right now. No one is willing to risk anything. People go, I have children to take care of. I have a family to take care of. I can't, be rude to these foreign pieces of shit or these troons or anything like that. And so, yes, you are giving away the future for your children because you want to live in a
can be
polite
rude to them.
society.
I think people don't want to. I think you can. Like you can.
Right. And it's the same type of reasoning. The boomers didn't want to do the right thing. They just wanted to keep their job and keep making money. And so that's the same mentality.
Back to the boomer thing, because the boomer thing more seems like they just kind of got lucky and they think that they did they did this out of skill versus luck. Like, what should the boomers have done?
Yeah, it's not a perfect parallel, but I feel like it makes enough sense that.
Yeah, because the boomers, a lot of them were like, a house was $100,000 and you bought one, and wages were. I mean, obviously blame politicians.
They paved the way for what's happening now with all the foreigners. And we're continuing to pave the way.
Okay.
With multiculturalism and accepting everyone, we don't need to be more accepting. We need to be far less accepting.
I can understand that. I mean, again, it's certainly your right to do so.
You should have great hatred for these people. And
I don't have hate for anybody.
They want you dead, like I've said.
Yeah.
They want you dead, and you should treat them like they want you dead.
They want me dead specifically?
Well, you're white enough that, yeah.
I'm white? Thank you.
Jew.
Oh, I wish I had a
you're
soundboard.
Jew, I know, but you're white enough that, yes.
You heard it here first, everybody. Goob says I'm white. Everybody heard it here first. Timestamp that.
You're not a Zionist, so you count enough.
I mean, I like Israel. I'm definitely not
a do
Zionist. You think I'm like one of these?
I didn't know you were.
I'm not like a Zionist. Like I don't like care. But I'm not like, oh, Israel needs to be ground into the, like, Israel's going to exist regardless of what anybody thinks. I don't have a strong opinion on it, but like, I'm not like,
can't escape the Jewish nature.
I mean, there's lots of people who, I'm more of a realist. I'm not, I would consider myself closer to a realist where I'm just like, people could be like, Israel shouldn't exist. You're like, but it is. Regardless of what you think about whether it should exist, it's going to exist. You can accept it or not. Like, there's certainly things that I disapprove of with their government, many things. And, but for people who are like, oh, is like, I hear this like, you know, people all the time hyperbolically, they're like, you know, Israel's not going to exist in 10 years. You're like, I'll bet fucking any amount of money that Israel's going to exist in 100 years. Like, this idea though,
maybe
like,
not 100, I don't know, but in 10 certainly. It shouldn't though.
Yeah, this thing where it shouldn't exist. Like, you're the same as like the super like woke left people who are like, yeah, this shouldn't be. You're like, great, well, it is. I don't know what to tell you. It's like, this is just
there's a lot of things in the world that shouldn't, that are. I'm not delusional about it. But okay, so Denny, I've got a question for you because we've talked about this a lot.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Yeah, go ahead.
Do you understand the reason why I say that the troons must be bullied? Like,
I understand that you see them as this like keystone almost, if that's where you go, this is, you know, in order to unravel all this stuff, that's where we need to start. And I do understand that to a degree. We definitely let them get a little too big for their britches. Although, like, so I was thinking about this yesterday in terms of comedy, because 5 years ago, like maybe even less, there were all these things. There was like there's no subversiveness left in comedy, right? Like there is no subversive. Like, I was really thinking about it yesterday, that there used to be all these things where you're like, oh, you can't say that. And there were all these things where everybody thought this thing, but you like couldn't really say it. It was like impolite or not allowed. I'm like, the Overton window has either widened or moved so much where I'm like, there's nothing you can't say anymore. And maybe I just can't think of it. Maybe what you're saying is probably the closest to it.
Right. That's a great point. So that relates to why the troons need to go, is because in the real world, not online, not in entertainment, but in the real world, the right is completely unable to exert any pressure. You know, with all of these judges, these activist judges, like releasing criminals and stuff, the right can't organize a protest against any of that or any of the insanity that's going on, because what happens when the right tries to do that is Antifa shows up. Mm-hmm. The government is not going to stop any of this stuff. The government is perpetrating these crimes against America and white Americans. And so the only, and you know, asking the right to go out en masse and just like fight these big groups of Antifa, that's unrealistic. That's asking people to go to the moon. You know, it's not going to happen. And so the only way to change this is to dismantle Antifa's ideology. And the weakest point and their, you know, strongest point are the troons. And so you have to start with the troons and dismantle that and attack these Antifa people when you find them isolated, bully them, humiliate them, mock them, and be able to get to a point where the right can actually exert pressure in the real world. Because yes, you can say whatever you want on Twitter now, and people, it's a horrible thing because people take all this rage that is absolutely righteous and deserved rage, and they don't express it in the real world. They express it on Twitter as if that's actually going to do something, and it doesn't. You know, not as long as we have judges and everything else doing what they're doing. And so things just keep getting worse, and the right is placated by being able to vent online, by, you know, the fact that there is like what you were just describing in comedy. And so those things though, like protests do work, not necessarily against like the government in general, but when you're putting pressure on a specific person for a specific reason, they're human, they feel that.
Yeah.
And things do change, you know, like look at Derek Chauvin, the massive riots that were outside of the court all day, every day, like that matters, that affects things. And so the right needs to be able to do things like that, and they can't as long as Antifa is around, because not only will they get beat up, they'll then get thrown in jail for getting beat up by Antifa. And so the way to change that
wouldn't
is
that
by
be
destroying the truth.
Yeah, but like, wouldn't you say like getting, first off, the notion that like, you know, when I view the right, if I had to pick who's going to win, right versus Antifa in a fight, I would take people on the right all day long. Like you see the people in Antifa, they're like,
so the fight.
Well, maybe you got to get arrested then. Isn't that like?
Yeah, no, I agree with that, but that's also unrealistic. Like I was saying, you know, the man unwilling to risk anything, the right isn't willing to risk it because they don't feel it's worth it. And in certain ways, it's not. Like, I mean, our future obviously is worth fighting for, but like, just being a martyr to be a martyr doesn't make sense. And that is how things are set up right now. If you try and take a stand in the real world against these things, you will get fucked and you won't actually accomplish anything because of the massive power imbalance that exists in the real world. So that power imbalance needs to be shifted back. And the easiest, most efficient way to start doing that is by destroying the troon.
Yeah, but wouldn't you agree kind of like the any power they even have is fairly recently acquired? Like they didn't have any power 12 years ago.
But that's not the point, right? Like they have, so it's not about the troon, it's about this leftist communist ideology, and the troon has become the spear tip of that. It doesn't matter that they weren't that 20 years ago, they are that now.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree with some of the things you're saying here. Like obviously they are better at organizing. I mean, they get arrested all the time though. Like they do, I follow like Andy. Yeah, I follow like Andy No, and you're like, he constantly is posting mugshots of these like insane transgender people are getting locked up, and so it's not like they're impervious to the legal system. Like they
kind of are. It's not just the troons, it's leftists in general. You have these activist judges becoming bolder and bolder and bolder. The situation's getting worse and worse. As long as the right remains inactive and ineffectual, like
but I mean they have less power than they had 2 years ago. Like surely you think they're more powerful now than they were 2 years ago?
The left in general, yes.
The left or they're transgender people equal. Really? I would think it would be less.
As I said, you know, last episode or a few episodes again, like Trump's been entirely ineffectual himself. Nothing he's actually accomplished is anything that will have any significant impact in the long term. You know, the right is fracturing politically, which in some ways is good. I mean, like Vivek, you know, I hope he does lose in Ohio. But in a broader sense, that's not a good thing with, you know, midterms coming up and everything else. Like there is a uniparty, and so it is all kind of the same thing. But right now, you know, but the decline will be faster with more leftists in power, and that is happening. It's trending.
And I mean,
that at least.
That is the leaning of this country politically. I think most countries in the West still skew a bit that way.
Keep saying that. And I mean, I can't entirely disagree with you, but that also needs to change.
Yeah.
There needs to be, and
there's places, because, I'm sure
again,
Poland
the left has been comfortable.
Yeah.
The sentiments of the masses are dictated by the extreme minority, right? Which is exactly what we saw with the left. You have very loud and radical leftists that have shifted the sentiments of this country massively. You know, Republicans today are the leftists of 20 years ago. That's not a good thing, but that is why the right needs to get more extreme. They need to get more radical. They need to get more aggressive and more hateful. It's absolutely necessary. White people are now less than 10% of the global population. The white population is declining across all Western nations rapidly. Again, this is by design. It's intentional. It is the plan. And people need to wake up to this, and they need to start fighting back against it, or else, again, we won't have any civilization at all, certainly not a Western one, and certainly not a white one. And white and Western civilizations have been the best civilizations that this world has ever known. And I don't want to see that gone. And I would like to have a world where, future white children actually have a future and aren't getting put in prison for thought crimes and refusing to suck a nigger tranny dick, and that's where we're heading.
Are you have any plans to have kids?
I'd like to someday.
Is there a Mrs. Goob? I know you were divorced, but
no.
All right. Well, you should get on that.
No Mrs. Goob currently. Yeah, I do need to get on that.
Just because of
the
white genocide thing and everything.
But also, it's right now I'm focused on trying to make a world where my kids can even survive if I ever have them. Because right now they won't, like with the trajectory we are on. The level of theft, the level of injustice being done to white people right now, I don't know if people fully understand. Like, I wasn't at all surprised by the Minnesota thing. I didn't know the details of the childcare thing, but like, it's very obvious that this type of thing is happening.
I mean, the crazy thing about the Minnesota thing, to me, was the cover up by the government. Like, they were, dude, if you go on YouTube, like,
Tim Walz had Hortman killed for it.
I don't know about that, but they've had like like local Minneapolis, like news stations. They've been reporting on this for like 15 years. Like, you can go find literally like close to 15-year-old reports of like widespread daycare, specifically daycare fraud by Somalis. And nothing has been done about it. Not nothing, because obviously, like, I think they said 80 people have been arrested or whatever, but like, for the most part, it has not been shut down. It's been allowed to proliferate just like endlessly.
Ineffectual.
Yeah. And you know what the craziest part is?
Hortman's killer said Tim
made
him do it.
Dude, if that actually turned out to be real, that would be so
the killer said it was Tim who made him do it.
He did. I think you're right. Wild. All right, Goob, I gotta let you go. I gotta wrap this up. Good talking to you, man.
All right.
Goob, everybody. Dylan Drew says, how far could Connor run rack? I ran so Paul away. Rip Connor, rip sport, rip Connor. Dylan says, I just shelled out $50K for some F whose face I fractured that endangered my kid. Standing up is expensive, even if cops side with you. Good point. Dylan says, Danny, I sent you a video in the private Patreon chat of me fighting a guy in the street that made news. Don't play it here, but shows what I've been dealt with. I will watch that immediately upon wrapping this up. Let's take the final call of the night. Hello.
Hello.
Tony Scarboni. What's up, dog?
First of all, Danny, how do I sound? Am I coming in clear?
Sound great. Happy New Year, Tony.
Okay.
How are things?
Happy New Year, Danny Polishchuk.
Communist Canada.
Interesting. They're interesting. First of all, thank you very much I feel honored being the last call of the night. Thank you. Taking advice from one of the other callers, I got 4 points that I wrote down, 2 that are quick and 2 that we can talk about.
All right, let's
try and make it quick for you. Whatever.
Let's start with the quick ones.
First of all, I want to celebrate 2026, the year of our Lord, low value mail. I wonder if you should change the name to mid value mail or mid value scrotes and scrotums. No. I find the quality of the callers is getting better and better. So if you got interesting stories, keep calling in.
I don't take any credit for that. That is you guys. And again, if you have anything interesting you want to call in about, even if you never called before, maybe you're nervous, just call in. Just like talking to your dad on the phone. It's just a good time. But I can't take any credit for that.
You guys
that's the people.
Great calls coming in.
I agree.
Yeah.
Great callers.
Great calls.
Good mix.
Also, 2, a good mix. To throw in the CanCon content of the show, particularly sports, World Juniors, bronze medal
Brutal,
finish
dude.
is better
Wait,
than
did
a
they win?
quarterfinal loss. It's
Did
better
they
than they won bronze. They won bronze.
It's for Canada bronze might as well be fucking 10th place. That's bronze in Canada.
You know what? Hey, you can take the glass half full, man. It's a medal.
You know what? You know what? The only thing
everyone's saying that, but
you know what? The only thing, and probably Americans don't even know what we're talking about, but like, so it's the under 20 World Championships for hockey. Huge deal in Canada. We used to fucking run the tables. The only thing, and this is not like a cope or anything. This is just there were 12 players who were eligible to play this year who currently play in the NHL. Some of them like Macklin Celebrini, like stars, like Schaefer, Celebrini. There's all these players who in another like era would have played, but now they're just like too good and they play in the NHL. So had we actually had a real team, we'd run the fucking tables. But I mean, there's literally there's an Olympian, dude. There's an Olympian who would play.
And ladies and gentlemen of the low value court, there are three things that Canada still exports on a regular basis. Maple syrup, world-class hockey players and coaching staff, and friggin' snipers. So do not trend on our country. Like, we will secretly fuck you over, like, if we have to.
In hockey.
Canada still kicks ass.
Yeah.
And in snipers and in maple syrup.
And we have don't we have the sniper who has the longest shot ever? Longest recorded shot ever?
I'm sure we have several.
Yeah. Yeah. But anyways,
So
World Juniors not what it used
Sweden to finish that. The gold medal's on right now. It's Sweden and Czech Republic. The teams and the other countries have gone better. It's Sweden and Czech Republic in the final. This is the first final since 2012 where it hasn't been United States, Canada, or Finland. I thought that's interesting for the gold medal. That's kind of fascinating. That's that. Point number 3, I recently just got fired from a job. Well, got let go. Bullshit. And I'm not happy about it. I was doing a job safety in near YVR.
Okay.
So a job very close to the airport.
Yep.
And someone said something interesting to me today. It's kind of the real estate market around here. I'm not going to comment too much on it, but it's crumbling in Toronto. I don't know. I've heard so much.
Toronto,
it's
it's definitely very soft in Toronto. Yeah, from what I read.
And it's not good in Vancouver either. It's been good here for so long, and
that's
people
good,
have depended on.
Why is that a bad thing?
It's better for people. I think it's better for people who rent, and it's a buyer's market.
Good. That's good.
One example, like the place that I was doing, I was actually doing a wood frame rental. And then beside us was a premier tower. So there were 2 projects going on at once. And then the lot was so massive they were going to build 4 or 5 more towers. That premier tower is apparently like there's 146 units in it. It's a 12-story tower. It's close to the airport. You can't go higher.
Yeah.
It's not selling at all. And there's
delaying. I mean, you know why that is, right?
It's
because they shut the border in Canada. They literally were like, we're not taking any. Dude, Canada's population declined last year.
You know what? It needed to happen.
Yeah, it needed to happen. It was like so overdone. There was too
long
many
over. It's like 10 years overdue.
Yeah. No, this isn't a bad thing. This is a good thing. You want property prices to come down a little bit.
You want property to come down
you
a
want
lot,
literally
whether
like
you're
fucking,
renting or buying.
You want like Chinese people who just like bought these apartments to just like stash money, who live in China to just like lose a bunch of money. That's a good thing.
Which is funny because that's exactly what this tower was. It was one of those like it's the starting price for one of these friggin' 550 square foot apartments was like $860,000 Canadian. No one's buying that shit anymore.
They were like 3 years ago.
Amenity.
They were 3 years ago.
Yeah, no, 2021 was insane, and that was when especially when interest was less than 3%. Like it was like dog shit, no interest. Like, and it's really just the brakes have been pumped on that in Canada. Good. And you're right, and also too, like we're building more rentals, which I think those are pretty expensive, but like that's ultimately a good thing for
the question for
rent
Canada is
like,
apparently there's 2 million permanent residents who are going to lose their status this year, and the question is, are they going to leave?
more. I think each individual case is up to them or what their scenario is. But
no, well, it's
more
just
than
like, do
likely,
they stay
I bet
in
you
Canada illegally or do they leave? Because I tell you, there's no way Canada Border Services has their shit together. We're gonna start like ICE style finding these people and deporting them. It's very much on the
They can't afford to. They don't have the resources of it. But like I think the people are screaming and like they'll try, like there'll be an attempt. And if you don't have your paperwork lined up, then if you don't have your paper, I know a lot of people already permanent PR'd or got their citizenship, but I don't know. Even those people, it's not looking hot. It's not hot, and like
it needs to happen.
Goober's saying like, well, white Americans, but like all Americans or Canadians are suffering. Whether you're Indo-Canadian or Asian Canadian, you've been in the country a while, you work hard, like you're fucking suffering, and like, or it's harder to get by than it used to be, and that fucking sucks for those who put in the time. You know,
I agree.
So
I agree.
let's have some.
But there is a white genocide.
Yeah, no, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that.
No, me neither. All right, anything else, Goob? I got to wrap this up. You have one more thing?
Yeah. My last point. I want to G-check you. I want to call you out. You're saying Pablo can't run for office because he didn't got no sniz.
Yeah.
Man, that's not true. That's not true. Give the kid a chance. Let him fucking do whatever he's passionate to do. Maybe it's better. Like, okay, maybe you want.
He's not passionate. He wants to do it as a joke. First off, he wants to do it as a joke. Secondly, nobody's voting for a guy who can't get his dick wet. It's just, who wants to vote for that? That's why people like Trump.
Maybe in the future we will see. What if that guy's a crazy, like a wholesome Christian?
He's not.
The right.
He got his dick sucked by a prostitute in Las Vegas for $600. He's not.
Danny, we all get our dick sucked by a prostitute for $600 when we're
no, we don't. I do not endorse this. I do not endorse this type of behavior on Low Value Mail. Go get it for free like everybody else.
Yeah, but when you're in a spot where you know this, like when you're a spot when your mind is rough and you want to get snizzed, like sometimes you go out of your way to pay $600 for these things. Like, give the kid a chance, give Peace a chance, give Pablo a chance. You know what? Go vote for Pablo. Vote for Pablo.
They already have shirts. There's merch that exists already, anyways. All right. All right, I gotta let you go though. So I gotta piss my. I'm about to piss my.
Invest in Joubert, everyone. Invest in Joubert.
Joubert to the moon. All right, later, Tony. Good talking to you, man. Tony Scarboni, everybody. All right, that's been the first show back. Dylan says, "Happy New Year to all. Best advice for California real estate and mankind's future overall. If you see a fault, don't dwell on it. Good advice. Don't live near the fault lines." That's been the show. That has been episode number 170, number 1 for 2026. Shout out to you all for joining me. And like Tony said, great callers tonight. Great callers always. If you've been thinking about, you're on the fence, maybe you want to call, scared to, just call. Just call. I want to talk to you. This is truly the show of the people. That is it. I got to go pee. That's been the show. Shout out to Gerard for manning the lines, even while he's sick. This is Gerard's flu game. This is like his Michael Jordan flu game. Thank you very much, everybody. We'll see you more than likely. I'm pretty sure we're good to go for a new episode of The Bathhouse tomorrow night at 9 p.m. on this channel right here. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, all that stuff. All right, I will see you next week or tomorrow. Good night.
Really a poet, you know it, all my shit heroic. Empathic abilities, yeah, my face be also stoic. Bleep blow up, nigga, that just means I'm working. They see me as a leader, so that's why I'm Captain Kirkin. These tracks from the stars, that much is for certain. You can fit this hit if you up or if you hurt. I'm raising my stock, not talking my feet in some Birkin. Number Johnny 5, got a fucking short circuit. Bring the track to life when I spit phenomenal. When I hit, she feel that shit in her abdominals. These rappers make me laugh like comic view, they comical. You know I got a ball out, I hit the track running just like Sonic do. They don't wanna turn on my light switch. Yeah. They was trying to get me on my hype shit. Yeah. They don't wanna turn on my light switch. Yeah. And they tried to down me on some KO type shit. Yeah. They don't wanna turn on my light switch. Yeah. Now we pulling up fresh on some flight shit. Ha. They don't wanna turn on my light switch. Yeah. They don't wanna turn on my light switch. They don't wanna turn on my light switch. Yeah. They was trying to get me on my hype shit. Yeah. They don't wanna turn on my light switch. Yeah. Then they tried to down me on some KO type shit. Yeah. They don't wanna turn on my light switch. Yeah. Now I'm pulling up fresh on some flight shit. Ha. They don't wanna turn on my